Let me say a very special good night to all of you that are joining us on this edition of Real Talk. Of course, Real Talk happens every Mondays from 8 to 9 p.m. My name, Dr. Thmson Fontaine. Normally, I'm joined by our Public Relations Officer, Glenroy Soso, but he is not available just at the moment. He should be joining us a little later. We were also expecting a guest. We have not yet seen our guests. So tonight, I just want to say welcome to all of you and thank you for tuning in every week, religiously every week, to Real Talk. We are always delighted to be on your radio and your station and your television sets as well. And it's always an honor. And tonight, of course, we are going to be doing it a little bit differently, considering that our guest did not is not showing up. We will most likely play some highlights of our recent meeting, which was held in Gotha, where several individuals spoke. So that will be highlighted tonight. We will most likely do some of that for you tonight. But let me just say that it is an honor to be with you. There are obviously some issues of interest that we wanted to just talk about before we go into the recordings. I wanted to talk in particular about what transpired with the European Union and the Dominican authorities. You may be aware by now that the European Union has, in fact, given the Dominican government, along with the governments of St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, and St. Lucia, they've effectively given them a few months to decide to what they consider to streamline, not streamline, but to phase out the CBI program. So they're asking the governments to phase out their CBI program, and this phasing out should happen within 2 years. So the deal is if the governments fail to phase out the program, then there will be according to them, they will impose visa restrictions as early as December of this year. So effectively, the governments have just about, I would make it 5 months to decide what they want to do. Now, we have heard from the Antigua government. Prime Minister Gaston Brown has said clearly that they will go into negotiations with the European Union, that the CBI is all they have. It's a critical part of their economy, and that they will go into negotiations. On the other hand, we've not heard anything from our government. Prime Minister Skebet has been extremely silent on this particular issue. He's not indicated, he's not even informed the public of having received this letter. We know that he's received it because we were told by Gaston Brown that the same letter he received was copied to the other prime ministers. So we are fairly certain that he received this letter from the European Union. However, he has not informed the Dominican public of what action he is about to take. He's not mentioned it, he's not talked about it. So we really do not know what is going to happen with this particular issue of the European visa restrictions. Now, that is critical because we believe that a number of individuals, they go for the Dominica passport for that very reason, being able to access the European Union or the Schengen region, some 16 or so countries, including Germany, France, Spain, Belgium, a number of countries in the European area, being able to access those countries without having a visa. So that has been an incredible draw for this, and with the threat of visa restrictions, then you can well imagine that this is a cause of concern. And the feeling there is if the European Union were to impose visa restrictions, it would certainly curtail on the numbers of persons who are looking to have Dominica and St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia passports, quite frankly. So that is something to keep a close watch on. We have to see how our government responds. I mean, obviously, the Antigua government can only talk for the Antigua government. They can only talk for themselves. They're working on that. But we have a situation where we are talking about us in Dominica and whether or not the Dominican government will, in fact, take some action. Right? So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. This is something to look at very closely for. And of course, this comes on the back of the just horrendous issue that is going on now in the United States of America, where no new visas have been issued. Persons in line for green cards have been told to wait. There is a pause on the issuance of green cards. There is also, when the visa is renewed, there will be a visa bond of sometimes up to 42,000 AC dollars that will be imposed on persons wanting to travel to the United States. So it's a very rocky road ahead. And the question that everyone is asking is whether, if the European Union gets to the point where they impose sanctions because the governments of the region decide that they're not going to continue, the question then becomes whether or not they will do a similar bond. Whether, if I mean, it's one thing to have a visa restriction. You have to apply. It's not always the best situation. You have to apply, you have to wait. That's an extra expense and all the rest of it. But the question is whether or not the European Union will behave like the United States and impose a visa bond. So that is something to watch very, very closely, because it seems to me that the countries are very concerned about the CBI program. They have been complaining time and time again that the vetting procedures are not adequate. They've complained about the due diligence that is carried out. They're not satisfied that the due diligence is adequate. So you have a number of issues that it is extremely concerning as far as the government is concerned, as far as their response to the European Union. And so it's something that we have to keep a close watch on. Whether or not we're going to see action by the European Union is something that we have to wait for. But the main concern, of course, is the security situation. There is concern that a number of persons who have received Dominican passports pose a security risk, not only to the United States, but to Europe in some cases. And that is, they really doing their best to, as it will, protect the borders. But the implications for a visa imposition, especially by the European Union, is going to hit home for us, because we are surrounded by two French islands. We're surrounded by two, if you like, overseas departments of France. Two of them, Guadeloupe and Martinique, one to the north, one to the south. And there's a lot of trade between, a lot of commerce, a lot of movement of persons between those islands. And the question is, obviously, if visas were to be reintroduced in Europe, then it would mean that we now have to have visas for Guadeloupe and Martinique. And that makes it all the more interesting whether or not there will be a bond attached to it. Because what it seems that the countries are trying to do is to really discourage persons from having or continuing with the CBI program. They're trying to discourage the governments, but more importantly, they're trying to discourage individuals from getting access to those passports, because they're basically saying if you have to access those passports, it's virtually useless. You will have to go to all those countries and you'll have to have all of those bonds that you'll have to pay. So they're making it extremely difficult for holders. And so that is a situation that we have to look at extremely closely. It's something that we are obviously very concerned about here in Dominica, because it will have direct implications for us and the way we do business with Martinique and Guadeloupe. And I'm talking in that way because it seems to me that the government of Dominica is not going to go the route of phasing out, because when we talked about it, in fact, the exact same terminology that the European Union is using is what we have used as the United Workers' Party. We're very clear, we're very transparent to the Dominican public. We indicated to the Dominican public that we would, as quickly as we assume office, that we would be able to suspend. Okay, we basically made that announcement. We said that we would phase out, not suspend, but we would phase out the CBI program. In fact, our 10 pillars to shared prosperity does not include, it makes no mention of the CBI because we took it for granted that by the time we assume office, that the CBI program would be in some kind of danger, that the CBI program would probably not be in existence or it would be on its way out. And so we looked at a plan for this country that does not include the CBI. And you might say, well, why? Because currently the CBI accounts for 60% of government's recurrent revenues. So, in other words, monies that have been used to pay public servants, to pay the NAP workers, to provide medicines for the hospital, to pay the school teachers, all of that money, or most of it, comes from the CBI program. So it means that if this program has been phased out, if it has been reduced, then the government is going to have a serious cash flow problem. And it makes the pending budget, which we expect sometime within the next 2 weeks, because it should be held within the month of July, it makes the next budget very interesting. The question is, does government rework its numbers? Does it go in and try to rework its numbers because now there is a threat on the CBI, or does it continue to project $600 million in CBI flows for 2026, 2027? So that's an important space to look at, an important situation to look at. So we are in some, if you like, distress here in Dominica, with the pressure coming in from the European Union to add to the pressures we've had from the British, from the Irish, from the Norwegians, from the Canadians, from the Americans. So it looks like every single country that matters putting the squeeze on Dominica, putting the squeeze on Antigua, putting the squeeze on the 5 Caribbean countries that still have the CBI programs. And so it's something that we have to look at very closely, something that is extremely concerning. And the obvious question is, what is the government going to do? What will be the reaction of the Roosevelt Skerrit-led administration? What will they do in the face of this very direct request from the European Union that is now asking them to phase out the program within 2 years? They can either phase it out. If they do not phase it out, then visas will be imposed by the end of this year. And so it's a very dicey situation for us there, because as I said before, 60% of revenues with an economy like ours, where agriculture is non-existent. Bear in mind, that's a very important statistic, in the late, probably yeah, the late 90s, very early 2000s, we were exporting over $100 million in food, whether it was bananas, grapefruits, in food, up to $100 million. Now that's about $5 million a year. So that is an indication that agriculture is at its lowest ebb in this country. So we do not have agriculture, we do not have manufacturing. Our tourism sector is at best mediocre, in the sense that we do not have the numbers that we see in other countries. The flights with American Airlines and United, they are struggling to maintain their presence. In fact, the Dominican government has had to be subsidizing the United Airlines flight on an almost daily or weekly basis into Dominica, because they're simply not getting the kind of traffic. So our tourism sector is nothing to speak about. Services is almost non-existent. So we have a situation where in this country, the government of Dominica has not done anything to trigger economic growth. They were quite happy to receive the revenues from the CBI program, which allowed them to pay their public servants. And as long as they were able to pay the public servants, pay the police officers, pay the teachers, they felt that they were doing okay. And no need to even worry about the private sector, no need to even focus on manufacturing or on agriculture or on the tourism sector. So it's almost like we were on remote control. I say remote, but I really want to say on automatic control, where we're just cruising and without any kind of direction from anybody. The economy doing its own thing, its thing on its own, and it has been a constant battle, a constant struggle for the average Dominican. And that is why the United Workers' Party, that's the reason why we have, in fact, gone out on record to tell the Dominican public that we will, when we take office, we will focus on once again revitalizing it, on once again restarting agriculture. We'll restart the manufacturing sector. We'll restart the fishing sector. Even that is in decline as well. Tourism, a lot to do with respect to ecotourism, a lot to do with respect to attracting more visitors into our country. And so there's a lot of work to be done, work that this government simply is not in a position to do. They appear to have fallen asleep. They appear to be really not interested in what is going on in this country. And it is very, very sad that we have a government that appears, for all intents and purposes, appears to not care about the situation in this country, appear to not worry about really taking care of this very difficult situation that we find ourselves in. And so we have a situation in Dominica where we continue to rely very heavily on CBI revenues. That has been the story of this government. In a way, they've been very lucky in that they had this access to, an almost abundance, if you like, of resources. And at the end of the day, nothing was done with those resources in terms of reinvestments, in terms of investing into the more productive sectors of the economy. None of that was done. So it was just a matter, it was almost like someone winning the lottery and then saying that, well, they've come into money and they just decide to spend it. So they spend willy-nilly on all sorts of things, and before you know it, they're out of money. And that's the situation that we have in Dominica, that we most likely will experience in Dominica, where this government runs out of resources and they simply have not put enough focus on the economy, on growing the economy, and that will put us in a real state of crisis. So all of the issues that we've talked about, the high cost of living, the high gas prices. Imagine gas prices on account of the Iran war spiked in the first quarter of this year, but in the second quarter, prices have more or less gone back to normal, world oil prices, but our petrol is still almost $20 a gallon of diesel and a gallon of gasoline. So it is very costly in Dominica with respect to gasoline prices, and we have not seen that move at all. It has not gone back down. And so, it's almost like the government has fallen asleep at the wheel. We have a prime minister who's travels very, very often out of Dominica, does not tell us where he's going to, does not report to the Dominican public. Obviously, I guess it's none of our damn business where he goes. And that's the situation in Dominica. So we are thankful as a party, United Workers' Party, that we have a plan that we can present to the Dominican public, a plan that will no doubt, that is in fact resonating. People are happy to hear that we are focused on issues. We have adopted a very different approach to the politics under my leadership. We are looking at issues. We are looking at areas where we can really grow and improve the economy and also the lives of the Dominican public. We have taken a beating under this government. When I say we, the people of Dominica, they've taken a beating under this government with the job losses, mass migration, particularly of our young people. They're migrating in the thousands out of this country, a declining population, a very high cost of living, very low wages, extremely high unemployment, galloping poverty, you name it. We have those multiplicity of issues here in Dominica, and a government that seems unable to deal with it. Thankfully, as the United Workers' Party, we recognize those issues. And because we recognize those issues, we are doing everything in our power to deal with it. We are doing everything in our power to confront those problems that faces us. We talked about the high cost of living. That's within our 10-pillar plan. How are we going to address it? We are going to address the high cost of living by revamping our tax system. We believe that the tax system in Dominica contributes a lot to the high prices. So we look at, for example, a shandy. Shandy is a kind of a soft drink that we import from Trinidad. It costs at the retail $5. Some people sell it for $6 these days, but normally it's $5. This $5 shandy, $3 of that is in taxes. It is that high because $3 goes to the government. There's a situation where, on average, dry goods, groceries that are consumed by the Dominican public, 60% of it is on account of the tax regime that we have in Dominica. So, as such, as a responsible government in waiting, we have been looking at how we can tackle this situation. So, with respect to that, we are looking at the tax system because we have a situation where the tax adds up on the tax. So, when you import, for example, when you import goods from overseas, you pay all of these taxes, you pay your custom duties, you pay freight, you pay tailgate, you pay different port charges, and so on. All of those are added up. And then on top of that, added to the goods. On top of that, you add the value added tax. So the tax is not on the cost of the item, it's on the cost of the item plus the charges, fees, and duties and taxes that goes to the government. So at the end of it, the government gets a substantial part of it that works out about 60% on average, and that goes to the government. So we are saying that if we're able to streamline our tax system, if we do not add tax on tax, as this government is want to do, then we will be in a situation where we can actually have a handle on the high cost of living. And that's a simple solution. It's a simple solution, of course. And the obvious question that people say, well, if you are going to reduce your taxes, then how are you going to get monies to run the economy? Because lower tax revenues or lower taxes to the government is going to pose a problem. The counter we have for this is to say, well, we are not doing this in isolation. We are tackling the high cost of living. We are tackling this madness of the tax system that we have in Dominica with a similarly focused battle on the economy, because we know that the tax revenues is a function of your gross domestic product. In other words, the more you expand your gross domestic product, the more you're able to produce goods and services, the more you're able to create employment, the more you're able to grow and expand the economy, is the more taxes that will accrue to government, even with a smaller tax rate. But if your tax rate goes down, but you have increased activity within the economy, then you'll be able to offset this. So we are not just doing this in isolation. The idea is to offset these high costs from the government. So these are some of the things that we are looking at. We're very serious about solutions in the United Workers' Party. We believe in finding solutions to the issues that confront us as a nation. High cost of living is one, the economy is another, the youth situation is another serious challenge here in Dominica. And I say it's a serious challenge because we see a number of young people, and especially our young men, who fall through the cracks. Our young people are under tremendous pressure of not being able to find work, pressure of not accounting too much, not being able to make much of their lives because there were no opportunities in this country. They are lucky ones able to escape. There was once a route out through the United States that has been effectively shot since the start of the year. And depending on what happens in the CBI program, it may continue for some time. So that avenue is no longer available to our young people. So it's just mounting frustrations, mounting problems, mounting issues for our young people. And at the end of the day, they try to escape. They just move out as much as possible, get out of Dominica. So that is something that we are tackling. And the way we tackle this is to really focus on job creation. How do we keep our young people employed? Well, one way of doing it is to grow the private sector. The government has not focused on the private sector. The government has been the biggest employer for a long time. And it almost seems like a deliberate attempt by this government that they will provide jobs to the people. A number of persons who have government jobs have not been appointed. Many persons spend years and years and years either acting or not receiving any appointment. You have a number of teachers who have not been appointed, a number of police officers who have not been appointed, a number of public servants who have not been appointed. And you have that situation where it's almost like the government is holding these persons to hostage. So we will not employ you. You cannot find work in the private sector. So you're beholden to us as a government, but that's not good enough. We believe as a party that a responsible government encourages the private sector. A responsible government puts measures and incentives and policies in place that will attract the private sector. And that is something that we are very much keen on doing, expanding our private sector and ensuring that we are able to get the private sector to be very much a part of this development thrust. So ideas on the private sector, we are looking at which kind of companies we are going to make specific attempts to get. One of the areas, of course, is in the technology space. We have relatively good, solid fiber optic telecommunications networks here in Dominica. So we believe that we can leverage that. In the past, the government has just been restricted to getting a few call centers in the island, and even that has not worked out as it should. There have been some failures in that regard, but we believe that there are areas where we can actually, where we'll be actually be able to get government and to get the private sector to work together with government. So that's another area we'll be looking at, and that is how we're going to tackle the youth situation by giving them work to do, good work. Whether it's with foreign companies or our own local-based companies here in Dominica. There are a number of areas that we said we're going to go into: manufacturing. We're going to look at our essential oils industry, how we can ramp that up, we can make money. Our water industries are just really, really vital in that whole aspect. How do we get our water industry, up and running and functioning in a way that is viable, in a way that can create jobs for people? So these are areas that we're looking at. So you see, we do not have much time to spend on minor things, if you like, and personalities and so on. We are focused very heavily on plans, on remedies for some of the challenges that we are you know we are faced with in this country. Okay, I see we're joined by our PRO. He's not yet shown his face, so but when he does, we will we will we will look at that. Um, I don't think that is correct. Someone is saying that the U.S. visa bond is now US $250, but that is, yeah, but they've said it already that they're gonna raise it to they're not issuing any visas right now, so that is not a point to note. The fact is they're not issuing visas, but when they restart, it will be it will go up to 15,000, between 5 and 15,000 US dollars. Okay, so that is the visa bond. Um, so let's take some of your comments as we wait for our public relations officer to make his presence. This person says, let's take Ross University, live in Dominica. You have an empty building rusting away. Critical thinking to run a country doesn't exist in Dominica. So this individual is not happy with the critical thinking. And yeah, so that is some concerns here that we are seeing. All right, let's get this one from Daniel, who says instead of this prime Skerrit use the CBI monies to build Dominica, he used it for boat right to the island for votes. All right, so again, not using the CBI, that has been a colossal mistake. And this is not, we're not just talking about this now. All when there was a discussion around the missing billions of CBI money, we were saying, but why is the government not using this money to subsidize agriculture, to build up agriculture? Why not use this money to get in some factories, to do some manufacturing, put people to work, just have all people out there working, doing things? Why? This has been something that we've been asking, and it is clear now. It is clear that it is not happening. All right. So we have this one. The easiest visa to get is a European visa. Who want a Dominican passport just for 15-day entry without visa? Let the discussion make more of an impact. You are uninformed. Green cards are presently being issued. Well, I don't know where this person get the information from. The green card is on a pause. All right, that is absolutely the case. Green cards are on pause for Dominica and St. Lucia. They are doing the interviews, but they're not issuing any green cards currently. Similarly, visas are on pause. I want to be very clear about that. All right, so please do not come on here and try to misinform. I think that's just serious misinformation that has been spread there. We know for a fact that green cards have not been issued, and that the now the issue of the visas and the visa imposition. If the Europeans are to impose visas, my concern really is for getting a visa to enter into Guadeloupe. We do not know what restrictions will be imposed with those visas. Because remember, it was relatively easy for Dominicans to get visas in the United States. But all of a sudden, they've now changed. Now you have single entry when it restarts, and you're going to have a situation where you have a bond imposed. So what we do not know is whether or not the Europeans will impose added conditions when that happens. And it's too early to say. It is too early to say, because if they are really trying to discourage the CBI program, it makes sense that they would want to put in heavy restrictions to discourage persons to get the visas, even when those visas are in place. All right, I think that's a fair assessment. All right, so let's go to this other comment that says, Scary didn't put nothing in place to fall back on. His lack of vision is the main reason for that. Dominicans better get ready for real misère. Okay, that's another individual there, who is living his views on it, on what is going on. All right, let's get to this comment. It says, if not CBI, then what? That's real madness. The statement was made because they were in oil. Money was flowing, and there was no vision to reinvest. Instead, it was used, yes, to build houses for free in order to stay in power. In the final analysis, yes, everyone got houses, but how do they pay the bills and maintain the houses? This statement is not hurting the nation. All right, so there is another comment that we have. Okay, let's see if our PRO, I see, he's been trying to get in. We still don't see him, but let's see. Mr. PRO, can you hear me? All right, so we're still not able to hear.
Are you hearing me?
Okay, I can hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you now.
Well, I don't know. I was in some other program prior to this, so I'm not seeing myself. But once you can hear my audio, well, I think I can.
All
I
right,
can
well,
participate
sure,
in this.
sure. You'd have to go.
Are
You'd
you
have
hearing
to go
any
to your.
feedback?
No, it is clear enough. I would think that
Right.
you'd probably have to do some. You'd have to go
Yeah,
into
I
your
was trying to
settings to
get
get that
something done, but
changed.
I
But
suspect
it's
there might be just a technical issue. Yeah. So
okay. So we'll just
well,
go
that's,
ahead with your audio for
yes,
tonight. That's
yes,
fine. Yes, so I have spent the time. So we have not seen our guest that was supposed to join us in studio. So I've
right.
spent the past 40 minutes or so talking about the situation with the European Union and the looming imposition of visas if the Dominican government does not phase out or agree to the phasing out of the CBI program. The European Union has said that they will impose visas. So we spent some time talking about that. I also used the opportunity to highlight some of the areas within the 10 pillars that we are focused on, some of the real challenges that we have in this country, including our youth unemployment rate, the high cost of living, a tax system that's dysfunctional, where we are overtaxed in this country. And I was kind of highlighting areas in which we are going to change and improve on those things for the Dominican Republic.
Well, yes, certainly. And Doc, it's not uncommon that, these things have been stated. You are an economist by profession. Dominica is now experiencing a lot of economic woes right now, and you are the right man right now for the job. If you are a mechanic, if your car is broken down and it has a mechanical issue, then you'll have to get a mechanic. And by the way, they have different, skill sets of work with respect to, auto mechanics. And so with the electronic cars coming in, if someone may know about mechanic changing different parts, that broken down, but may not be so, electrically inclined with respect to doing electrical. That's why you have to get a specialist. And so you are rightfully placed where you have to be placed to ensure that you can take care of, the most common problems that we have. And so that's not a problem. That's not uncommon that you do this, because that's part of your life. You have done it in other countries, and you will be doing it for us. So, Doc, yes, that is a good point. With the visas, as I know it now, I know people that is not. So I saw someone made a point about $250 now good. I haven't heard that announcement. There's no adjustment yet based on the president's proclamation. I've not heard nor seen any adjustment in the rates with respect to what we're talking about. I see somebody put the
visas, US
visas.
visas.
Yeah. Actually,
Visas.
no. So that's not a truth. In terms of the visa bond, that's not truthful. So we must wait to get the actual thing. And it's not that we want this thing to continue on Dominican. It's just unfortunate that we have to actually call a spade a spade. And we have to know where this thing came from. And because of the government's ineptness with respect to not being, vigilant enough to do much due diligence with respect to the CBI program, that's why we have found ourselves there. That's the root cause of the problem. It is not that was just imposed on us. I mean, it was imposed for a reason. Nobody's just going to impose something on you blanketly and not able to give you a justification. So we know why these things have been imposed on us. And it's because of the government, problem in terms of doing due diligence and to ensure those persons who are actually, making recommendations or applying for citizenship by investment, enough due diligence have not been done to ensure that, you scan persons properly, you find that they have credible, background. So a lot of our persons who have received citizen by investment program and passport or get Dominga passport are those of questionable characters, some of nefarious characters. And that's a fact. So we know where this has all begun, and we're not trying to cast any blame. It's a reality. And this government has to undo what it has done. And so we are waiting on them to comply, because there was enough time given to them to comply. But I don't know if the US has been satisfied, and so we remain there. Doc, it's not surprising again that you mentioned about the economic situation. We are really facing some real downturn in the economy. A lot of persons have stagnated salaries. They are not getting increase in salaries. Day by day, things are going up. Retail prices are going up. You see the advent of the war between Iran and the United States. Even prior to that, we had some real problems. Another thing that is hurting us, economically is that we are importing more than we are exporting. And it appears that this government is stuck with respect to addressing the trade balance. We need to import less, and as opposed to we need to import less and to export more. And so we are deficient in this respect. And so it's not surprising, because they don't know what to do. They are stuck. For 24 years, all they could do is after election, continue to do electioning and do not do the people's work. And instead, they report to the people every time an election is called. They're trying to allow the people to renew their mandate. How can we renew your mandate when you're not accountable to us? How have we found ourselves having that visa imposition, not just from the US, but from the European Union as well? And Doc, we are well aware of that. We need to have visas now to enter England. We need to do that, and some other European countries. So we are stuck in mud with this government, and we're not moving. And according to Tasha P's song, I don't know if you can get that song, treadmill. We are moving on a treadmill. You really believe you're moving? You are not going anywhere. That is how this country is really moving. It's not going anywhere. We are seeing the movement on the treadmill, but you are stagnated in one position. And that is how Dominica has been stuck in the world. And so we have a government who has been looking after itself. And just to again make everything blunt up, as you gave me the opportunity, we I missed out on most of the conversation. I heard the Prime Minister in a press conference talking about how he's going to put an international track, an international stadium, a nice mini stadium up at Tuck Farm. And that was so many years ago, so many months ago. I expect now the Prime Minister will be reporting, look, this is our report card. This is our report card in Rosanov. We have said we're going to do X, Y, Z, and we have done it. You cannot give a report and account of the thing. And what had hurt it if all of this, it was in an official press conference, When the Prime Minister came, he didn't give us money details, because he didn't say where he getting the money. He didn't tell us how much the government was allocating, if the government was going to take a loan. But he did say that he had technicians look at the spot, the plan has been approved, and they're ready to go with work. Up till now, we are not seeing that, but you're in Rosanov campaigning to see if we get a seat. A seat you had on a platter and was supposed to have done so many things before that resignation of the minister, long before. Because even if you did not win a seat, or you had not won the seat, it doesn't give you the right as government to neglect the people. And that is what this government has done. This government has neglected the people of Rosanov and now coming to beg for the Rosanov people to get them a break. Well, no, you don't have a report card. You cannot come there. Danny Luge is the man. Danny Luge is enough for Rosanov. This is our candidate, and we are going to vote Danny Luge. And so, Doc, I know that, we have a lot of persons participating there.
Yes, indeed. So in fact, I wanted to respond to one comment in particular. I'm going to show it now on the screen.
Yes.
Because there have been a number of comments, and I wanted to address a particular concern of this individual, Javi Xavier, who says, my concern is that the UWP leadership should spend more time on the ground, speak to the people in the various communities. Not everyone is able to listen to you on the internet. What happened to public meetings in the villages? Well, I think you may not be aware, but we are having public meetings. In fact, in the past few weeks, we've had public meetings in Wesley, in Woodford Hill, and we've had Free Nirozo North more recently. We have one planned for Wednesday in Monjon. So we've had a couple in Lapland, in the Lapland area. Woodford Hill as well. Yes, I mentioned that. So yes, we take this very seriously. This real talk is 1 hour on Mondays, and like I said, this Wednesday we are in Monjon. It will be carried live. We've also been carrying the others that we've been having in Rosanov. We've been carrying those live as well. But the idea is because we're expecting an election in the not too distant future. In fact, it is due within the next few months. We are certainly expanding our reach on the ground. We agree with this individual that more needs to be done with respect to getting the message out on the ground, and there are different ways that we're going to tackle that. The public meetings is one, but we are also in the process of working on having a system that will go with the message to the various villages. So the 10 pillar plans, we're going to load that onto a truck and have that pass through some. So these are some of the things that we are working on, and we'll be ratcheting up the number of public meetings. Now so yeah, I just wanted to assure this individual that we are very much aware of this, and we are doing everything possible to ramp it up, because we understand the limits of social media, the limits of radio, but being on the ground is the way to go. And that is something that we have been really trying to focus on. And even in the absence of public meetings, our candidates and our caretakers have been encouraged to spend time on the ground, to do the house to house, and that is going on as well.
Yes, and certainly, and I just want to add to that, to what you have said, is that, and the person is correct when they say we must spend more time on the ground. And we have been doing this. We have really called for a long time. You have asked and admonished that we go on the ground, and we've been doing this. And I had the experience to be on the ground with you as a central candidate. And I know this is happening in various constituencies. And just to assure you all that we are doing mobilization. We are out there actually taking the people to register, to confirm. So this is a way that we interact with them. And some of them, notwithstanding they have shown reluctance, we actually speaking to them and tell them why it is so necessary that they have to confirm. So that is part of the whole interaction. And a number of them have been very responsive. They have been responding to the call. We are mobilizing them. They actually going with their families. So at least, we are interacting with them on one-on-one. We meet groups. And so far, the response has been very good. And the people themselves have been actually waking up and getting to get themselves confirmed. But as well as this confirmation thing, Doc, I did a research on it. I called a few persons. And it is a fact that so for some time we have been hearing that the registry doesn't have, at the registry, you do not have what they call birth certificate forms or print. So sometimes they say they do not have actually actual print or forms available so they can print the necessary information on the birth paper to give. But what we are also understanding is that somebody made a trick or created a trick to really test to see whether or not that was true. The person went and that person was suspected to be somebody in the United Workers' Party. And that person was told, well, we have not resumed yet. We'll make an announcement when we resume, that there's no ink, there's no paper, we cannot print. And a friend of the person went in who didn't know well is a labor right. And immediately that person got it. So let me just say to the Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission, it is your duty under law that when an act of law is passed, when you have an act of law passed by the parliament, and this law is in operation, or there is operations of that law, you have to ensure, because you made the pronouncement that this is what is going to happen and the birth certificates are going to be free. So from time to time, Electoral Commission, Chief Elections Officer, you must go to the registry and find out how are things going on so that you will know what is happening. Because remember, you made a national pronouncement. It was announced nationally. And now we're having some TV issues with this. So if this is really the case, why if we continue to be very selective in this country? Because we have the view that some people do not support us. Why are we screwing up? Why are we screwing up this election process? Why are we screwing up the election whole process of getting people to confirm? Why are we doing this to people? One of the strongest pillars of our democracy are elections. Why is it that we continue to mess with this? And so we are urging Dominicans and those of you who do not have ID, that the only way you can get an ID if you do not have one of the free IDs they call either the passport, either the social security card, or either a driver's license. If you don't have any of these free, you are now allowed to get an affidavit of identity, 2 passport size photos with, saying that it is you, and then obviously a birth paper. And the birth paper, as the government made the pronouncement that it is going to be free. And obviously the Chief Elections Officer made it clear that it's going to be free. And that now has started. So why now people are experiencing some problem, or why some people are experiencing this problem, others are not? And Doc, I really wanted to comment on this because
well,
it is really alarming.
I'm very concerned about this because someone is also saying that they have been going for birth paper for about a month now, and they've been told that they cannot get it. So, but what you just said is very concerning because you're reporting that individuals within the registry's office are selecting whom to give the birth paper. And also, if I
this is correct.
It's strange that right when the announcement was made that suddenly there are no birth papers to give. And it is such an important part of the whole confirmation process. So that's something that we need to investigate further. And we certainly will be doing that in the days ahead. And if that's the case, then this needs to be exposed for the world to know.
Yes, this is the case, and we will definitely have it, you will have it addressed. And we are asking questions for those who have been going and do not get their birth certificate. They must really visit the electoral office to see what is happening, because you cannot tell me part of the adjustment you made is to facilitate people. And now that you have announced it, then you have to stop in that. And our country, by the way, our country, a big country like that, the government posts their money. In fact, this is the government that has brought the most money in the country. You sell passport wild, over 50,000 passports. You should have money. Why should we run out of ink? Why should we run out of papers? That happens nowhere. But it's interesting that when people apply for citizenship by investment, you have their birth papers, you have people actually signing on their behalf quickly that they say, I know them for 10 years. You just know the person, but you sign in that you know them for 10, 15 years. I mean, this is really something in the country that has to be investigated. And I can tell you all, rest assured, the United Workers' Party will do just that. But we don't want to drift away from the essence of letting Dominicans sort of transform their life, because we really are serious about getting Dominican friends a better quality of life. Because as it stands now, with healthcare, with tourism, with agriculture, everything is just done, and we are experiencing a high level of unemployment. And thus, we are really moving in high speed to get our act together to make sure the necessary policies when we get in are directed at stimulating this economy, to get agriculture right up, to get tourism right up, to get manufacturing right up, to ensure that we actually revisit the tax regime and to see where applicable we are going to make sure that we ease up Dominicans, particularly with that levy, that environmental levy of $10,000. We know for sure we have made this pronouncement. We need to ensure Dominicans have a better take-home pay. And so that is why we talk about increasing the national wage. And so we have a lot on our plate, but Dominicans, by and large, they are very, very moved by the programs that we are putting forward. And that is exactly what we do on the ground when we go out and interact, to sell this thing. And we continue to do it, and you have been doing a good job at it. And as you're saying that, one person just texted me, then I'm looking at my text, a young lady again, saying, hi, Soso, I'm listening to you all. Unfortunately, we can't see your face today. That's not a problem. I got to fix up my face the next time. All I'm hearing is that he's saying, well, look, this is important. I'm hearing Doc, and as if that we cannot wait. We young people just cannot wait for the United Workers' Party to be in, for us to realize some of the dreams. We want to be part of nation building. We want to have our plans presented to the government, and we hope that a consultation, a youth consultation, will be held very soon, so that we can have our say. So by the time you come in, you will know what is it that we want, as opposed to proposing what you think we want. Doug, what do you have to say for that?
Yes, indeed. In fact, so one of the things that we decided that we are going to work on is a youth symposium. We have had to set it back a little bit because of the work going on in the preparing for the by-election, which is due within 2 months. It must be called within the next 2 months, or in fact less than 2 months now. The 12th of September is the cutoff point. And so we are looking at how we can actually do it, because, we are concerned about the young people, lots of concerns about the young people. We want them to stay in Dominica. We want them to be contributing towards our country's development. And that is certainly something that we will be putting forward in the next couple of weeks. That youth symposium where we hope the youth will have the boldness to come out, because sometimes when you think of planning such events, you worry whether or not the youth will want to show their face publicly in a United Workers' Party activity. But we're doing it as a party to show our commitment to the young people of this country, and we hope that they will be a part of it. We have been looking at the whole question. In fact, there's a question now that says, is Amerijet still operational? The question is no. Amerijet has been out of business for quite a while now, and there are no direct cargo shipments between the Dominica and the United States. But that is something, hopefully, with the coming on stream of the international airport, that could be alleviated. But we certainly can find other ways to get our produce out to the United States. And that is something, again, that we're committed to doing. How do we get our produce, our agricultural produce, up to the US? And this person was talking about wanting to get some dashing from Dominica. So these are some of the issues that we certainly will be focused on.
Yes, and that is very correct, because it is one thing to depend on what they call refrigerated boats to have controlled temperature, to maintain the cold chain from Dominica to its destination, but it's also too important that we use, flights or aircraft to actually get the produce into the country in quick time. And you can imagine we have farmers actually getting involved in, let's say, vegetable production. Take, for instance, the farmers of Mount Prosper, Salisbury, Granby, and all over Dominica. Once we can get them to have their fresh produce ready, we should supposed to actually package that and get that in within quick time. So in fact, that is one of the areas we'll be exploring with respect to transportation. So there's a need for this. And remember too, Doc, the person must understand that just under your watch, you are not in government, using your own resources to ensure that the people of Dominica, the farmers of Dominica, that the dashings have been bought and other produce to the regional market. And so if that can be done without having to have the largest of the government, you can imagine you actually steering the ship in that driver's seat as Prime Minister and spearheading a program like this. So yes, this person is correct when you talk about transportation, and these are some of the areas that we'll be exploring to ensure that we get our produce out in quick time.
Well. So the other thing that I promised at the start of the program is that we would do a replay of the public meeting that was held in Gotha. We are going to replay it in its entirety. It is 9 o'clock, so promise that we would do that from 9 o'clock forward. So persons who missed the public meeting will get a chance to get some of the vibes, local vibes with local speakers, and also some of the things that we're saying in those public meetings.
Oh, yes, certainly. And so that we will exit. So let me just say, you'll stay on. This will be on. They can actually listen to it, but we will be actually exiting from it. So let me just say for those of you, giving smart citizens white envelopes, some comments with money in public is an insult to Dominicans who are capable with brains to create their own wealth. With water and smart agriculture, good leadership, young people can make it lots of money. We need leadership to move Dominica forward again. The party is bankrupt with ideas; they are failed. So before we actually sign up, though, let me answer to this question because I'm a direct testimony to this. What the person just said there. I used to be an extension officer before. I bought property, agricultural land, and I used to sell bananas. I can remember my code, my traceability code from my farm to the market, C5593, and that was connected to a district. My district was 1N mean cow. So anything that happened on my farm with respect to my produce, when it reaches the market, if there are any complaints with respect to any foreign elements in the packaging other than what is supposed to be the packaging, they would send back to Dominica, and they would say, well, C5593-1N has a problem. When you put this number on the computer, you'd see Glenroy Coffee pop up. Then you have officers going to find out what has been the problem on their farm and have corrective measures taken. So that's what it is. And so far, I've been able to pay off my debts with respect to doing farming. So this person is correct. A government doesn't have to give you every job. The government has to ensure that the necessary policies are in place so that can encourage entrepreneurship, can encourage small business. So even that is employment. And when you have your own business, you have the opportunity to employ people. So yes, agriculture can be a very lucrative enterprise, and I've proven this in all respect. I worked hard and pay off what I had to pay off. And indeed, that is what it is. When this government came in, it just prolong everything. Bananas go wild, and they talk about black Sikatoka. Let me just tell you all that are listening finally that black Sikatoka is not the problem, because you have right now, currently, Ecuador, the world's biggest producer with respect to the export market, has black Sikatoka, and they're able to maintain the premier position with respect to performance on the European market, and they sell a lot of bananas. So black Sikatoka is not the problem. It's the bad management by this government that caused this thing to happen and to let bananas go under. So we'll be looking at a lot of those bananas, agriculture holistically, to ensure that young people get an opportunity to showcase themselves and to allow people to tell of the success stories that they have had in agriculture. Oftentimes, people think that agriculture is about dirty in a clothes. No. So, Doc, I know under your watch, things are going to be good. So your last point before we wind up, and then we will depart from the program and allow the meeting to continue so that people can listen.
Yes. Yeah, just to say good night and to say thank you for everyone who tuned in tonight. We'll certainly continue the conversation next Monday with another edition of Real Talk. But like I said, we have an extended program tonight so that we can get to give you a chance to view the public meeting that took place on Friday night in Gotha Village.
Everyone, good night. Let me say good night to everyone. And this has been Real Talk. And we see you next time. But stay tuned because you will be listening to what has been happening locally. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you and good night.
I'll take a bow. Brothers and sisters, the speakers that I have here tonight, They are get up and ready. This is why I took my little chance up front, because I don't have no more time. So right now, brothers and sisters, I'm going to my first speaker. He knows himself, he's right here to my left. My first speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is a man that has made his business in education. He has educated the youth of Dominica. All over the country, he has educated Dominican youth. Brothers and sisters, he has been well known as a prolific calypso writer. He has told his stories, or he has allowed his stories to be told far and wide, speaking the truth sometimes in parables. Brothers and sisters, I ask you to welcome this evening my very first speaker, Mr. Ian Jackson. Let's make some noise in the place, brothers and sisters.
Good night, people of Gutter Village. Really and truly, I don't have peace in tongue walking around since people have been seeing me on Facebook and speaking about the United Workers' Party and trying to get rid of this particular government and bring up Danny again once more as the parliamentary representative for our area. People made me in tongue all this morning. I went to a funeral and I was called and accosted. I had to spend some time all after my lunchtime speaking to people about why I did what I did. They said, but Jackson, a guy like you that not really, I say, yes, I've paid my dues. I may not look it and I'm happy my students used to tell me that. I don't look it, but I'm 64 years. I'm 64 years and I've seen almost everything there is to be seen in Dominica in my time. And I've looked at many things. I worked as 25 years as a teacher and I can comment on things that I've seen. Every time I leave SMB, when I teach my fifth formers, I ask around 9 or 10 out of them, young man, now you're leaving school, what are you going to do? So me say, I want to go overseas. Yeah? That is the fact we are facing in Dominica, that all young people basically want to leave the country. When I was a young boy, when me and Danny went to Goodwill School in our time, Dominica's population was 81,000, remember that? Today we hardly have 60,000 people in Dominica. And we are the only country in the entire Caribbean, the entire world, that basically, presently, whose population is going down. That must represent something. There is something wrong. Many of you here have family, children, daughters, sons, cousins, who have left Dominica and leave to go to BVI, St. Kitts, Antigua, and all those other countries that small Dominica, Grenada. Up to there, I was talking to a gentleman from Stock Farm, and he's saying, oh, how much money is getting in Grenada, and he come back here as a tradesman, and he cannot find work. Gentlemen, what they're giving you is money to pacify you. No. So they'll give you $500 now, they'll give you $1,000, but it's going to finish. What we want is a skill. We want to be employed. We want to be involved in the development of people. We are not looking at handouts. So I realized that, no, everybody can't remain silent, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody have to speak. And if it means me as a teacher who have taught hundreds of youth and number of persons from this community, then I must speak. And so I'm here tonight to represent the interests of Danny Luge in the first instance. Okay? Basically, we have presented a 10-pillar program. Okay? Mr. Fontaine has represented a 10-pillar program. But I want to tell you about the 10 killers and not the 10 pillars. The 10 killers that are killing our country under this present regime called the Labour Party. First of all, we live in a dependency instead of a meritocracy. What I mean by that, don't worry about those people, what do I mean by that? Everybody seems in Dominica to depend on the administration for survival. You see them climb up the steps, you see them wait outside for when the Prime Minister is coming to go and beg for something. We are not beggars, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We are not beggars. We need to work for hours and make it available so that we can employ ourselves, our family, our children. So we need to promote people and give people jobs by merit. That's what they call a meritocracy. Most of the countries in Europe that have done very well is because they have served their people by using what you call a meritocracy. Being that you give merit to whom merit is due. Many of you can identify in this constituency when your children leave school and they apply for a job, they have more subjects than the person that they get the job because they know who they can go to. That should not be happening in the country, especially a small country like ours. And that is my contention. And that is why I'm here tonight. So number one, the first bombardment. You know right now we have bombs and so flying all over the place in the Middle East. Okay? The Bible talks about the 10 commandments. I'd like to tell you about the 10 bombardments. So we have 10 pillars by the United Workers' Party, and I'm going to present the 10 killers by this administration. Number one, we talk about the dependency syndrome and the fact that we do not live in a meritocracy. Number two, a sense of hopelessness. And we know it. All of us know it. And we know it very well in this constituency. All of us know it that everybody, basically, there's a sense of hopelessness among young people. You see them just walk in the streets. My brother, just at the Lindomat, just there, we always go in there, those places there. We don't have to go far. Every day a new power outside, a new man asking for money. You come outside with and a new person is asking you for money. Because they feel a sense of hopelessness. There's nothing to happen. A government that is concerned about the people of Dominica would have an institution by now, as other countries available, to take care of the needs of those young people who are under pressure. We all face difficulties in life, and not everybody will stand the same way. So the same young people that are outside, sometimes frustration, little things happen to them, you know, and so some of them is through drugs, whatever. But if you are concerned, government, tell me, face me, wouldn't you make an institution available where these young people can be cured and rehabilitated? All these young people who have leaving, our people, you know, our children, I don't put myself away from it, you know, our children. Ladies and gentlemen, I teach at the prisons. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm at the prisons, right? I do English at the prisons, voluntarily, right? Like I do most things in my life. And when I go up there, I meet some young men who are bright young men, relatively bright young men. And when they give me their stories of frustration, a couple of them coming out this month and at the end of the year, and I'm so happy. I'm trying to get one or two of them to do CXC subjects and so forth. It's not that these guys are not bright. They get frustrated about certain things. They began smoking. They became violent. Everybody now wants to tell you, well, hold your mother, P. It's not because they want to tell you that. It's not because they want to tell you that. It's the frustration that in the youth in them head. And as a result of that, they don't even know how to express themselves. So it's a rage, a pressure. That is a sister, a pressure. That is on the people. And that is what our youth are responding to. Okay? So you have a lot of mad and deranged people. I wouldn't call the person name, but we all know over the past weeks, 2 weeks now, I see Miss M, a girl I went to school with in grammar school. One of the most beautiful young ladies in grammar school in my time, in the 70s. Miss M, bathing naked, walking in the streets naked, and everybody watching, and the government see no place to take people like that and put them in an institution. Isn't that a disgrace? This lady took your mother. She's about my age group. I went to school today. If I want to call her name, we all know what we're talking about right now. When I tell you her name starts with M, everybody knows. She's bathing on the pipes. Everything exposed. And we're talking about tourism, people walking the streets and looking at that. And it has been happening in a succession of days. And nobody see the need to approach this woman from the authorities and say, look, let's send some guys to go and collect this lady and put her in an institution or put her somewhere where we can take care of her. We have nothing like that existing in Dominica. It's a shame. That's what I'm saying. It's a shame. We have nothing in Dominica to take care and rehabilitate those persons. Killer number 3. No place to park vehicles in Roseau, but that's a problem. No place to park. The other day, I was bringing an old lady who I met up in my area, and I was bringing her down to town. She said, Jackson, Kenya, I want to go at Hasbro. To tell the truth, I made a wrong 10 wrongs to park. I couldn't pack, and the lady can't walk, you know. No lady can walk, you know. So I took a chance, like everybody else, and I packed by the ministry. Now, as I packed out by the ministry, I met a police officer. He started giving ticket on the area. I said, officer, just give me 10 minutes. I'm going to bring this lady across. I tell her to hold my hand, bring her across to the Hasbro Medical Center. When I came out, do you know I was served with a ticket, man? I was served with a ticket for bringing an old lady. So I said, after I met him, I said, young man, much younger man than me. I said, young man, where would I park? I told you I was going. He said, well, you know, it's tickets to give in, and that is the time for giving tickets, so we can't make an exception. All kind of foolishness. Now I went to the office to pay my ticket. Around a week after, it was close to Fontaine. Everything in Dominica is Fontaine. You got paid off in the middle of the month, you know. So I went for Fontaine. So I go to pay my ticket. When I went to pay my ticket, they tell me they don't see my name there. Do you know, it took 2 or 3 months for the officer to put in my name, and them man calling me at home, tell me how they have a warrant out for my arrest because of a ticket which I came to pay, and it was not available for me to pay. So I had to explain to the officer, no. And lucky thing, one of the officers were there and say, oh yes, Jackson came and he asked about a ticket. This is the situation they're facing. That is why this thing is going about in Dominica, that they say that police is very hot during month end where the government doesn't have money to pay. And that's the way, that's one of the ways they find the money to pay civil servants and to pay their bills and to pay the NEP workers who they pay all like 3 and 4 weeks after the month has passed. This community, we know it too well. Where is the cannabis industry? Where is the cannabis industry that was promised to us? Can somebody tell me where is it? Somebody can tell me where is the cannabis industry that we basically have? Or we're supposed to have in Dominica? You know what has happened? And let us have a little conversation, people of culture. Let's have a little conversation. I'm not here to cry down herbs or marijuana or anything like so. What I'm here to say is that many of our young people, and as a result of their frustration, when they could have taken marijuana and add value to it by making creams, making perfumes, making various medicines for curing many illnesses, we just have our young people just at will, all about walking, all about Dominica, just smoking, and there's no direction. They can't make no money out of what they're doing. There are many young people who wouldn't mind going on the farms, if they are allowed farms, to go and grow crops, including cannabis, and make money. In Thmson, by the way, Thmson is where my father is from. Okay, what's from? He's dead now. In Thmson, Ralph Gonzalez doesn't touch that stuff because he realized a lot of people can make money out of the cannabis industry. And people are making creams, jelly, shampoos, and so. Where is that industry? The lies continues. And we go to number 5. Killer number 5. No facilities for the arts in Dominica. Last month, myself, Mrs. Bully, that's all in Bully's wife, Anita Bully, Gloria Sceptre Augustus, a lawyer, and also Raymond Lawrence. 4 of us, we went to see the Prime Minister, and up to recently we were there at the Arab House of Culture, because he was saying that, talking about demolishing or having a new facility available. Now, you know, in Dominica, when you talk about new facilities, it doesn't happen at all. Many years passing. My daughter and other persons are part of Cicero Singers. And those of you who have seen Cicero Singers or Whitey Kubuli productions, they are high standard productions. And they are performed in low level environment. They go by the good old school. Poor sitting. It's hot. There's no lights. And they have to stage productions. Or young people are into productions and they cannot find no place appropriate, ladies and gentlemen, to express themselves. Is that right in a country like that? Is that right in a country called Dominica, where we have some of the most talent in the Caribbean? I remember in the 70s, a guy came from Jamaica, a professor came to Dominica to study the environment about music. And some of you can identify, who are as old as me, could identify that almost every other home in Dominica, there was a musician, there's a guitarist, there's a keyboard player, there's a drummer. Dominica is known for those talents. When we had our Orlin Bullies and our Raymond Lawrence and those guys were doing production, Steve Hyacinth and so on. That was what happened. When Dominica had how many 40-something bands? Dominica don't study something bands, around 4 of them was black. Black Affairs, Black Machine, Black Roots, Black that, Black that, Black that. Dominica had a lot of bands. And because every other person could play an instrument, we are multifaceted people into the arts, and they are not providing a space so that we can actually express ourselves. And you come and tell me about Labour Party and Labour Party care and you read and so on. It's foolishness. We have to look at ourselves, ask ourselves questions, look at our children and see what's happening. Let's understand ourselves. Number 6, killer number 6. No vendor, booth, or arcade, last. Many of you travel, I'm sure. When you go out, when you come leave the ship, you go in an arcade where there are vendors there, and you sell your goods. You don't have to wait for rainfall and see the pick up umbrella or whatever. Right as you enter the country, there is an arcade. You enter into an arcade where all your different things you make from coconuts and everything is available there. Where is our arcade? We are living in the, I don't know what century, because we have tents. Which country in the world when you come in the country you see the tents? Tents we have in our Bayfront, and we are proud of that. I mean, can we continue doing that for next generation again? No, we cannot have that happening. A tent. You know what I mean? So basically, we have to look at those things. The poor state of our sporting facilities. Grammar school is school I went to. And all of you all know me. I played football for Saints. I played for Spartans. I won Cuffy Spartans. I played for Goodwill Drafters. And my brother and everybody, we played sports. In the grammar school that they have just rehabilitated, they said, or rebuilt, or refurbished, that grammar school, there's no grounds for playing football. How can you have a school in this modern time and no facility to play a sport? They have to run in the gardens to play. Man have to jump the wall and go in the gardens to play cricket and football and do athletics. Talking about where is the rubber rice track? Where is the rubber? And they're boasting. And Miss Gatson so much. Miss Gatson did not train in Dominica. She was not available to have Dominican facilities. We are proud of her as a Dominican, for sure. I am proud of her. I know her mother very well. But if Miss Gatson was born in Dominica, I tell you she'll be Gatson. She'll be gone soon. Yes. Because basically, she would not get the equipment and the facilities whereby we expect to be like England and America, you know. But certain basic things by now, because we had them before. I went to grammar school and we had a sandpit, right? And we had a sandpit and we had different facilities that we could actually help us in our sports. When we had guys like Scobie and Bull and all those kinds of guys as sprinters, I too was a sprinter in my time. So I know we have went back in Dominica and we have to move forward. How can we going back in a country in 2026? It's a joke. So we have to look at that very seriously in terms of sporting facilities. What about the gardens? What about the stock farm? Remember under the Workers' Party, how the stock farm, netball stadium and facility? What has happened to that? The netball facility at stock farm. That was one of the best in the Caribbean in its time. They said there's some contractual situations, but that should be solved by now. There's no place where you to play netball. Everything is just in a little space in the Windsor Park. That cannot be. We have a Windsor Park, and I've never seen a park they call a stadium. We call it Windsor Park Stadium. It's either a Windsor Stadium or it's a Windsor Park. The fact is that more CO is happening in a stadium, in a park, than sports. How can you have a stadium for sports and there's more CO in that place than sports? We failed in getting any contractual arrangement for any test match last year and even this year. Because we have no lights. Now they're doing something about the lights. Okay? And we are using money and spending money coming here and say we're doing all kind of things for asthma. Sorry, asthma. We say we're doing all kind of things. Basically, and we're doing those things to facilitate, to give you some money, just to vote for now. And you're back again in your misery. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot afford to make those mistakes. Again. You cannot afford to make those mistakes again. Number 8. Killer number 8. Remember, we are building, we are the pillars. Okay? And they are the killers. So killer number 8. The close of factories. Look at some major factories that had closed in Dominica. DCP, Bello, Kubuli, Look, let me tell you that when I go overseas, man, I'm sure all of you all, when you go overseas, I used to be proud to see Bello, you know. When I go on the shelves and I see Bello, Jam, Bello, this, and that, I was very proud to be a Dominican. I was in St. Vincent last year. I went to visit my cousins after a long time. I didn't go to St. Vincent. And them man boasting to me about they have Kubuli there, man. It was embarrassing to me. They are controlling Kubuli, something we had, and they wanted some assistance. You know what I mean? To put back Kubuli on his feet. Now St. Vincent in one bottling and doing all kinds of things with Kubuli. You know what I mean? They didn't understand where it came from. But they tell me what they have. You know what I'm saying? It's another killer. So all basically, or Bello or DCP, almost all of Mao has been impacted. Maybe all of Mao has been impacted by DCP. In terms of speed of some jobs and so on that are available there. Folks, we can't forget Ross University, you know. Killer number 9. Ross University. Oh my God. Possibly it's not the same. Many persons who come to Dominica, and when I bring them out, and I used to reach to Portsmouth, they should just say they feel a sense of internationalism. You know what I mean? The roads at the time, you know, the activities, the positive activity because of Ross. Everything. I myself was in a band called Phase 5, and you all know that. I played the Frankie mother is right there. I played the Frankie, RSB and so forth. And we played at those places. We played music at those places because of Ross. Every year we were contracted by Ross to play. You know what I mean? This doesn't happen again. Right now, all hotels in Dominica, they cannot afford to hire bands. They play hi-fi. I played for 8 years on a stretch with Pancho Wilfred John Baptiste and his brother Alan John Baptiste. We played at the Fort Young Hotel for 8 years contracted every night, and other bands had similar stakes in other hotels, Anchorage and so on. Playing. Today, Guata Hotel. Who's giving entertainment? Hi-fi music. Because they cannot afford to pay bands. So culture has been at a standstill in Dominica as a result of that. Water. We are the water people. We are known for water. No bottling plant in Dominica. But I try to put that to 10 years, boys. Around 20 things are, you know. I just try and make it blend with 10 commandments and make it 10 killers and whatever, you know. But there are plenty things, you know. How can a land of water, does not have a bottling plant, cannot export water to other countries? Antigua have a problem with water presently as we speak. St. Lucia has a problem with water. St. Vincent, land of my father. When I go over there, they have a place where every time it rains, you know, it comes into a little river and they're boasting that, you know. They haven't seen our rivers. You know, they're always happy to know when it rains. That thing, they have to divert traffic because a big sort of kind of river comes in the area and so on, and then it rains. But we should be exporting water. There should be, I mean, that should be a, you know, a no-brainer for us to be exporting water on a serious level. You know what I mean? Instead, we had one of the ministers mocking, what's the name again? Mr. Vince, mocking one of our producers about water and saying about the bottle tops and whatever. Instead of trying to make things better for people. Okay? The country. I happened to hear over this week that how the Minister of Tourism was boasting about Dominica is #1 by a Ledger magazine. And so I went to find out the quotation, what they're saying. And listen what they said. The latest ranking places Dominica ahead of other destinations across the Caribbean, with the publication highlighting the island's commitment to preserving the natural element. Its feature in the Leisure magazine states, Dominica is a nature island, noting that the destinations offer a different experience for many of its regional neighbors. Rather than centering on beach tourism, the magazine said, and listen to that, the magazine said, visitors are drawn to the island's extensive rainforest. Has the government ever built a rainforest? Volcanic landscape. Has the government ever built a volcanic landscape? Black sand beaches. Has the government ever built a beach? Waterfalls and hot springs. So obviously people are coming to Dominica because of our God-blessed gift. It has nothing to do with government. And you can go and read it for yourself. These are the things, and they are taking credit for that. We must be sensible and look for those people. You know what I mean? It's because of God's natural gift. And one day, as the Bible says, I'm a Bible man. Me and Ninja go to the same church. We are Bible people. And the Bible says that one day, when he come back, and he asks, I don't know if you know the story about the parable of the virgin. Some of you might know. Parable of the virgin. When Christ gave them something, God gave them some things to do. And then he came back and asked them, what did you do with what I gave you? And some of them could not give a response. That is what we are facing. One day, we are going to be found wanting and going to ask us, I give you beaches, I give you sulfur springs, I give you lakes, I give you all sorts of things, through spa, all kinds of stuff. What, Dominica, what have you done? And you're going to say, what have you done with it? What have you done with it? And that's the question we have to ask ourselves. Okay? The publication pointed out that nature-based experiences on the island as a defining attraction. So it has nothing to do with what the government has done. As a matter of fact, in Roseau, we had a committee called SHAPE. I don't know if that existed again. Because SHAPE was about trying to maintain the quaintness, the beautifulness of Roseau. Roseau is a small town, and we all know that. And there's nothing wrong in that. But we had a quaint attraction in that we had the overhanging verandas, we had the lattice work and so on, and that was beautiful. A lot of people used to come to Dominica, and when they come to Dominica, they used to report to me, and I know, because I work for the tourism people as a musician, I played a lot of time with the different, and they used to tell me, you know, Jackson, this thing is quaint and different, okay? Like New Orleans, okay? Because they have overhanging thing. See what the Chinese are doing. All buildings they put up is not in keeping with the structure, the general dynamics of Roseau. And in the next few years, we will not know that town that we call Roseau. Okay? So it's a terrible thing. So we have to look at these things very, very carefully. But I know there are many speakers, but I must big up my boy, Danny. Okay? And I want to share some of the things that I shared with our two other communities with you. I asked a child one time to pick up a piece of paper under his desk at school. And the child said, well, so you want me to clean today because you're assigning people to clean in the classroom. And this started happening around 15 to 20 years ago at schools because people feel entitled. People don't think that if you don't get something for something, then it doesn't make any sense to do it. So we have lost the sense of community. We have lost the sense of community. If I don't get something for it, then they're going to talk to some person and tell me, Jack will be making some beers. And the first thing you know, I just have to talk to them, you know. Because people are looking for things. And that's a bad way to be as a human being. Okay, that is a bad way to be. Because you yourself, when you have your own children, as young people, when you have your own children, you tell your children, don't go behind man to do this and do that. But you're training them by doing that. So we have to develop a sense of value as young people, as people, to understand that we need work and things to provide for ourselves and for our community. It doesn't have to be for ourselves only, but to benefit our community. There are three types of voters, as I always mention. One who waits for money and bribery. Are you one of these? You have to question yourself. One who takes money but still votes for whom he decides and never, or some who never vote. And the others want money. Don't want money, sorry, but just want to buy critical thinking. They want to be independent. And that is the best type of voter. Okay? Another rule is when you have to make a choice of candidate, folks, you choose someone who has always been with you. Have you seen this lady on the other side? People in her own area where she lives have never seen her. Everybody in the Goodwill community can identify with Danny in some way or the other. There's no doubt about that. So you don't just vote for people because they set up somebody. It's not a queen show, you know. It's not a queen show, you know. Sarah, she's a nice looking lady or whatever. No, she's not a queen show. Yes, I knew her father. And, you know, I want to say that he met his demise and so on. And his friend Cowie and so on. You know. And that's why I wrote some years ago, I don't know if how many of you remember that story, A House and a Mango Tree. When I was in the Dominica Writers Guild with Harold C. and those guys, Rasmo, who departed this world, we used to perform where the house is presently, the House of Dark Secret, as Dice said. We used to perform there under that mango tree, Venus Place. Okay? And sometimes when I had the front playing at the bay front, people used to ask me, white people used to ask me, where Jean Rees lived. And I used to try and direct them to the place. Because they never saw any value in preserving that place and having a museum. They never joke that thing on top of the old post office and say there's a museum. When I go inside there, it's terrible. Nothing is inside there. This place could have been a museum. It could have been a place that people could visit and look at some of the works of Jean Rees, among other things. Because you have literary artists in Dominica. Okay? But that was not used. I understand that there's a caveat arrangement with that building. but we'll hear some more about that as time goes on. If it hurts you, if what some of the things I've been saying here tonight hurts you, then guys, I want to tell you, register to vote. It's very, very important that we admonish you and we warn you. You cannot say what them fellas doing or whatever. No. You have to be part of that decision. You can't remain isolated in your country. And so there are some reasons why I decided to vote Danny. Because a promise is a comfort to a fool. It seems that it is the other side's winning tool. And so in a land where money and bribes rule, I always vote, and you should always vote where integrity stood. So I say, all things being equal, for me, when I look at the competition, Danny is good. Like Daniel in the lion's den, without prejudice or pretense. He has championed your cause in parliament and on the street. Danny has done it tirelessly, on tireless feet, while the other party is never seen except organizing the next CEO or driving a limousine. So, I vote for Danny because I contend, not just in parliament, but in sports to this very end. Patrick John, Babs Dyer, Alan Guy, and Timothy, only sportsmen have represented this constituency. Am I lying, guys? Only sportsmen have and Danny is the other. Let it be. So tell me, why not Danny? DBMC, Dallas, and Saints, you see, can you hear the crowd shouting, Danny, Danny, Danny? The same passion he brings to parliament, facing arrest or ridicule from people that he represents. You see, Danny is about church and family, about employment and community. He brings a level of perseverance and maturity, which the other side obviously doesn't have. She has to walk all about with people with her and soldiers and army guys and all that. I mean, or you can go and represent people and you shield yourself against the very same people that you want to represent. It's madness. Because we know the asthma of youth is money and friends. Values are sent down a red drain, and it's a quick monetary fix. Now, then tomorrow pains, school fees, Dowasco, rent, and you are broke again. Well, Danny does not hold the country's purse to spend lavishly while you poor people suffer and hurt. Because Danny knows too well. The red flags there's have about, they can't vote. Only in a visionary, mature leader one can truly find hope. You see, when you are young, you tend to look for self. Progress, honesty, community are all left on the shelf. And really the youth cannot be blamed for it. When for their entire life, all they know, anybody who's 40 years and below, all they know is spirit. But with Danny's maturity, there's no need for this. The good, the bad, and the ugly, he has already seen it. Ask your elders, and they will tell you so. Life has never been worse than Dominica. Trust me, they know. So, the choice for me is very clear. You don't need a high from a spliff or another round of beer. No, to realize who's the candidate that really cares. A face in a car you have never really seen, or Danny on the move in your community within. So it's obvious that when you go to make that cross, it's easy. Your conscience will say, Danny, of course. Yes, Daniel, Ninja Daniel is the one for Rosewood North. People of Gutter, this is the man, the one I, your humble servant, support. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's make some noise for Brother Ian Jackson. When you hear this, whenever they call that election, there's only one thing to do. Vote for Danny Lugay. Brothers and sisters, we're going to be moving on because we don't want to keep you for too late tonight. We are moving on. But just before I do, I have to big up a few people around here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There is a gentleman in here tonight that I saw here, and I am so happy to see this man. Dr. Sammy, Hubert, Savage. Put your hands together for Dr. Sammy from the Hush. That's a great man. That's a great man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, I also, while we are making noise, make a lot of noise for this man. Mr. the Right Honorable Lennox Linton. Let's make some noise in the house. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, I couldn't end here because we've got in the house another great man. Another great man among men. Brother Hector Spags. John, let's make some noise. We have great people in the house. Yes, I. This is the one that's watching. Thank you. Thank you. So I move to my next speaker. My next speaker is a man who is well known in this area. We're moving on quickly, brothers and sisters. Well known in this area, and this is what we do. When we come to educate you, we bring you your peers, people that you know. We don't bring them from wherever, people that you know, to educate you and tell you why we are voting for Brother Danny Luge. Tonight, I ask you, brothers and sisters, another man from the community, I ask you to welcome Brother Reynold Gustav to the microphone with some noise.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Blessings, blessings, blessings.
Yes, I.
Boss, when you come to Gota, you come in my domain.
Yes, I, the king.
This is where I tread for a very long time. Mr. Tory House, Son Murray, all my people around the place. Man, this is my domain. So on this blessed and beautiful evening, I want to remember the elders and thank them for their contribution, because without them making a contribution. I want you to remember that this is supposed to be a cemetery. And squatters came here, people come here, they squatted. Okay then. So this is supposed to be, or was supposed to be, a cemetery. But the hard-working people that came here, they did what they had to do. That is why we have a place called Gota today. And I can tell you, they struggled, they had their sob, they did all kind of things. They never beg, you know. This is the people that never beg. They had their little sob and they would buy their little post and they would do their little do. And eventually, they build their homes. And today is a beautiful thing to see the children have carried on, and right now they have their own little sport. Just like Funkule. Because when they look, I want to say that, you know, my sister, when some people looked at Funkule, all they used to see was Palette. And they call it Palette City. But now you can't call that Funkule Palette City anymore. Look at brother says just Palace so look up there now. So that's okay. So when we come here among a people that have struggled, they have worked hard. They know how it is to fight. Hard-working people. And I want to pick up Idin in her 90s and still going strong. 94. I want to pick up all my people, my sister sitting there. I want to pick up City and all the others. Patral. My son as well, yes, he's there. So we had our struggles, we fought hard. The only time water used to stay empty is when we used to go out there and play football. And all the people from Gota used to come down and support us. As a matter of fact, we were the first one to introduce a woman in football in Dominica, and she's standing right there, madam. When we put madam on the playing field, the guys couldn't believe it. A Sheena, a Hina, a girl, a boy. Cannot believe that. And today she's right there. So I just want to move on and thank the people who contributed to making Gota what it is. But I want to say to you tonight, my people, I am here to support Danny. He asked me to come along, and I'm willingly here to play my part for him. If you have not yet been registered, I'm asking you to please get registered. Get confirmed and put your support behind Danny. Because you see, there's a devil out there. A young man said in a song, the devil has a plan for you. Don't you fall for it. The same young man said, you know, the only time he feeling free, he just forget his stress, is when it's CO time. Michael Jackson put it a different way. He said, beat me, kick me, do what you want to do with me. One thing I must say, they don't give a damn about us. And that is real. For you to tell me that you had a constituency you didn't work for, you had it, and you never studied the people. Now you come in a little paper bag and you're offering houses and you're offering this and you're offering that. I mean, are we stupid or what? I want them to know that we cannot be bought. We are not for sale. Roseau North people, I want you to know that there's a revolution taking place. It started in Tarish. It went down to Funkole. And tonight it is here in Gota. And it's going to spread throughout the length and breadth of Twaiti Kubuli Dominica. Because we are sick and tired of the insults and the abuse that we have been suffering from these people for so long. My people, the time is right to take back our country. And I stand here tonight to state clearly that these people have done nothing for us. You come in now, you have people with names on the list. I mean, what kind of insult is that? This is 2026, you know. You have been trying that same old trick for a long time. Try something new. Try something new. Because our children will hold you accountable. Some of us, we know how our parents struggled hard to send us to school. And now we are struggling hard to send our children to school. My people, do you want your children to continue in that kind of system? Where one man can enjoy his life and the rest of us catch in hell? This is more than enough, my people. I play with you, I'm speaking to you. Let us not fight with each other. You can be red, you can be blue, you can be orange, you can be green. You can be whatever color you want to be. But you see, people of this area, they are my people. I hold no grudges. You can be blue like blue. You can be blue like Noella. You can be like Mother Reds. You can call yourself what you want to call yourself. I love my people, and I'm not putting no politician before my people. Country comes first. If you're doing right, I want to say you're doing right. And if you're doing wrong, I want to be able to bold enough to tell you, Gus, you're wrong. At this point in time, we have too many yes men and yes women in this country. Time for change. And as that train continues to move and it picks up momentum, we want to see more of you coming out and supporting Danny and supporting the party. Because like I said earlier, the revolution began in Purple City. It moved to Fonkole. Now it is here in Guata. And we're going to pick up momentum. And we're going to do what we have to do. And we're going to liberate this country from that curse. You know what they told us? Performance doesn't matter. I mean, all of you people have been, some of you have been watching the World Cup. Man, if you're not performing, what's going to happen to you if you can't perform? So you see that curse of telling us that performance doesn't matter, we're breaking that tonight. Yes. We come to free up our country. We come to take it back. Think about the number of young men that just they're languishing in the prison. When they get out of the jail, there's no opportunity. They have learned nothing. I can remember playing soccer with a young man once. And a guy tackled him and he fell down, and when he got up, he said he was angry. And he looked at the other guy and he said, "Boss, the only reason why I'm not doing you anything, I've been to jail. And I don't want to go back there because going to jail is wasting time." And today we have so many young men that could be scientists, that could be whatever they want to be. We have them rotting up there in that jail. We have to take a stand. We have our elderly people who are being used. Let me be realistic here. What can $300 a month do for a person? And you beating your chest and saying you're helping poor people. UWP, I am saying that, and I'm saying it clearly. When the change comes, we want an improvement in that area. So poor people can at least survive. It hurt me sometimes when I pass up the road and I see young men and young women, sun and rain, standing there waiting for office door to open so they can beg. I mean, is that how we come? Is that the best that we can do? Come on, my people. You are being insulted. There's a gentleman that said, "Oh, all I have to do is just sign a thing and he can dissolve the NEP." What kind of insult is that? Who does that? So my people, I am speaking to you tonight. I won't be too long because I know there are many other speakers who have to speak. So I won't be too long. But what I'm asking you to do is to stand firm. We need a change. And we need it this time around. Put your support behind Danny. Make sure that you are confirmed. Because you see that whole confirmation thing, there seems to be something in that thing I just cannot understand myself. But don't worry, that we'll get to the bottom of it. So do what you have to do. Give Danny your support. And support each other. You know what they love to do? They love to hear us fighting among ourselves. Arguing. It's a divide and rule strategy. But one thing I must say when standing on the podium with the people of UWP is that we're not here to gossip and to slander and to tear down people. If it's that, I won't be here. I am here for positive vibes. I am here for my country. I want development. Amen. Somebody asked me once, I said, "So Tarish, what would you like for the children in the community?" I said, "I would like to see doctors and lawyers and teachers and great sportsmen and all kind of people coming out of Kota and Young Peace and Tarish and those places there. That is what I want for my people." Look at the playing field at the Savannah. Look at the other playing fields. You hardly see our children there, you know. You must see foreign people, children playing these days. What has happened to our children? What has happened to our children? Can somebody give me the statistics of how many young men has died in that channel between Guadeloupe and Dominica? All because they are running out of their homeland. Running to Guadeloupe, running to everywhere else. Antigua, running to St. Kitts. For what? For better living. Somebody say want to take it on a peepwee and they going anywhere else but still in Dominica. Because there's nothing for your children in Dominica. These people have nothing in place for you and for your children. Many will be graduating. What are they going to do? We have nothing to absorb them. So I'm saying here tonight, I'm happy to be here. I am thankful to be here to say these few words. And I want to ask you to keep your faith, support the party, do what you have to do. Don't let nobody deter you with their little red bag. Because the same money they're giving to you is your money. I am not telling you not to take it. If you're in need, I don't know your need. So I'm not telling you not to take it. Because it's your money. And when you see they bribe you, when you see they take you with that the hook, you're not going to see them again. Because like I said earlier, look at the rabbin. How many years have these people been there? And look at the it's now they want to come and clean the rabbin for you. I can say, who does that? But we are brighter than that. We are smarter than that. We are more intelligent than that. And not because we come from Gota and Yampis and Fonkoli to think we are Juju. The party is over. The time has arrived. We're going to take back our country and we're going to do it positive and we're going to change the system that we will no longer be beggars in our own homeland, but we'll be masters of our own destiny. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Positive vibe from Brother Gustav. Positive vibe, a man from the community. We have to do better than this, as he has said. Brothers and sisters, this is a very special occasion. This moment in time is a very special occasion. Because, brothers and sisters, I'm going to use this opportunity, or we're going to use this opportunity to make a very special presentation to a very wonderful person of this community. Ladies and gentlemen, if most of us could live to be her age, this would be a wonderful place. Brothers and sisters, we have the greatest of opportunity at this point. If you look over here to the east, you can see this wonderful lady, this beautiful lady. I know you wouldn't believe it, but I'm going to call her age just because I know you wouldn't believe it. She has just celebrated not 60, not 70, not 80, not even 90, 95 and counting, ladies and gentlemen, the matriarch of the Bernard family. 94, I gave her an extra one, she looking so lovely. 94, the matriarch of the Bernard family. We are presenting her a very great presentation from the incoming parliamentary representative, Brother Danny Luque. Put our hands together for this wonderful matriarch of this family and community. Congratulations, ma'am. You have done well. At 94, we have done well. Thank you. Thank you. hands together once again for Mrs. Bernard, the matriarch of the Bernard family, and I call her matriarch of this particular area. Brothers and sisters, we are continuing, but I want to shout out some other great people in the house. You know them, but I have to call them by name. I would like to shout out Brother Ezekiel Basil, Member of Parliament, not too long ago, for the people of Wesley, the community, the constituency of Wesley. I also want to shout out another great man from the East. Where's that? The great man came from the East? Brother Isaac Baptist, ladies and gentlemen. Another great man in the house. Boy, that United Workers' Party have some great people. Anyways, as time goes on, I will shout out some more. But brothers and sisters, speaking of shouting, my next speaker is ready to go. He is the Vice President of the United Workers' Party, hails from the St. Joseph constituency. He is the chairman of the St. Joseph Constituency Association. I ask you to make some noise in the place. Welcome, Brother Ryan.
Yes, good night, the people of Gotha. I know for sure if we have one area that Roosevelt carried and his government cannot fool is the people of Gotha. The people of Gotha stand strong and they will continue standing strong. The United Workers' Party is kicking and alive. No matter what they try to do to the United Workers' Party, it cannot work. The government of Dominica realized that the winning legacy is finished. So what they're trying to do now is to put confusion in the United Workers' Party. They're trying to make people believe that the United Workers' Party is divided. They're trying to make people believe that we have supporters in the United Workers' Party that is not agreeing with each other, but that is not true. We are one, and we are moving forward, and we're going to win the next general election in Dominica. But before we win the next general election, we are going to win a by-election in the Rosenloft constituency. And we are going to send a serious message for Ruth Bells-Carritt and his government. We're going to let them to understand that enough is enough. The people of Dominica is fed up with you. When you look at my truck, you will see Tubik and blue flag on it. Sometimes I just forget the flag on the truck. And how I remember the flag on this truck is the amount of thumbs up I get in when I pass places. The amount of applause I get in. The amount of people that holding me. The amount of people that saying, workers, when the truck pass. I just remember I have a flag on the truck and people representing. Ruth Bells-Carritt and his government, I have a message to you tonight there. We are going to send 21 candidates up in all the 21 constituency because we are going to defeat you in Dominica. Enough is enough. The people of Portsmouth is fed up with you. The legacy of the Douglas family finished in Portsmouth because they have failed the people of Portsmouth. We're going to let you to understand that you might be careful with your seat in Vickers. Penville and Vickers might not support you in this trip. You might be careful. Do not try to come Rosso Central because we will definitely you there. So don't come there. You better stay where you're going to get your vote. And I want you to understand the young people of Granby, are coming to their senses. My brother, enough is enough. People understand what is happening now. The United Workers' Party was in power for 4.5 years. And you see the performance of the United Workers' Party under the leadership of Mr. Edison James. You see all the roads that we build. We start the road in Despo to come down to Campbell. When the Labour Party come in power, they block that road. They never complete that road. We started the road from Hillsborough to go up to Warner. When they come in power, they block that road. They never complete that road. When we started the wall in Massac, to go at the back of Massac, to build a bypass in Massac, when the Labour Party come in power, they said they build a highway, they still pass it inside of Massac. They never see it fit to make a bypass in Massac. But the United Workers' Party was going to do that. The United Workers' Party was going to make a bypass from DBS Radio to pass at the back of Newton to go down to Point Michel. When the Labour Party come, they stop that. The United Workers' Party make a deal with CDC and tell CDC, if all you put the solars in Taru and you can bring down the price of the people of Dominica electricity, then we give in CDC all the shares they had. The United Workers' Party did that. This government come and they buy back shares in Domlek, and right now current going every single night. They cannot maintain it. This government is not, they have no kind of interest in the well-being of the people of Dominica. The United Workers' Party is the government that have your back. The United Workers' Party under the leadership of Dr. Fontaine. And Dr. Fontaine is not the only person that's going to run this country. We're going to run this country as a government, not as one person. No one person cannot run a country. And that is what is happening to us today. Because Roosevelt Skerritt is the Minister of Sports. He's the Minister of Agriculture. He's the Minister of Finance. He's the Minister of Housing. He's the Minister of Affairs. He's the Minister of every ministry. And that is the problem we face in Dominica. Because our ministers don't have the opportunity to perform their duty. So that is putting us in problem. So that's why tonight we have to tell the government of Dominica, enough is enough. And we don't want all you no more, because all you have failed the people of Dominica. Or you close down all the factories we have in Dominica. Or you make sure, or you make our banks leave and go. I'm not even talking about Ross, because all of us know what happened to Ross. I'm not even talking about Kubuli. We know what happened to Kubuli. I'm not talking about Belfast, because we know what happened to Belfast, the Dominica coconut product. How much people in Dominica that was employed under this factory and under the Labour Party, they are no more employed. Some of them leave and they go overseas. And now they're overseas, they realize that Dominica is a failed country. But I want you to know that we are not going to remain as a failed country. We're going to rebuild Dominica. We're going to bring back Dominica the way Dominica is supposed to run, under the United Workers' Party, under the leadership of Dr. Thmson, one of the best economics in the Caribbean. Not only in the Caribbean, because it cannot be in the Caribbean and Bangladesh pass on other country and come Dominica. So that means he's the best in the world. And you can tell them I said that, and they can bring it to the bank. Roosevelt Skerritt have to buy doctorate. Dr. Fontaine don't have to buy no doctorate. He owns a doctorate. And I want you to understand, my people, the only way Dominica can stand on their feet, and the only way we can come back in power, is if we give the United Workers' Party a chance to govern Dominica. But before we do that, we have to give Danny Luge his crown back in the Rosenhoff constituency, because Danny is the man for the Rosenhoff. Have a good night.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's hear it for Brother Ryan. Brother Ryan. Brothers and sisters, I am hearing you very loudly. Let's make some noise for the people to hear you. Oh Lord, I tell you, we're ready to move anything that is in the way. because Danny is the man. Brothers and sisters, I'm moving on. My next speaker is one that I am sure you love. A little man with a big voice. I ask you, brothers and sisters, to welcome Brother Siri from the Thmson constituency to address us for a little while. Put your hands together for Brother Siri.
Bonsoir toutes les membres de United Workers Party. Dr. Thmson Fontaine, Honorable Danny Luque, Honorable Olio, ice. Honorable Lennox Clinton, Honorable Kimon Noni Hector Oliato, Ezekiel Basilia. Bien bonsoir, messieurs. Bien bonsoir. Ça va faire mon plaisir. C'est toujours un plaisir parce que là, on va monter là. C'est bon Dieu qui nous monte bout là. Et bien là, mon monde qui nous va moins, c'est spirituel. C'est spirituel, c'est mon bon Dieu qui nous va moins. C'est mon dans la foi qui nous va moins. C'est mon quoi qui nous va moins. C'est mon l'argent, pas ça qui nous va moins. Parce que il y a les politiques, mon qui nous pris l'argent là. C'est eux qui gagnent en politique. Eh bien, mon gota pas de bout pour ça. Mon gota pas que de bout pour ça. Parce que yo ka voit que yo ke passe au Kazakhstan $5,000. Yo ke passe au Kailasa $3,000. Yo ke passe au Kailasa on fridge. Yo ke passe au Kailasa yo ke mande aoulé. Come back to us parce que on va catcher les saoulé. Et comme ça yo les politics. They want to bring the politics money. Who have more money will win. No. We have to watch what is happening and we have to judge. And we have to decide it is proper for, it is a good future for our children and our grandchildren. Parce que mami, you can take it out, mami. You there so. You give us $5,000. But allez so allez. I got grandchildren now. I got Zafan. Ou ka wè sa yo ka fè? E sa yo ka kachile yo ka fè. But like breaking news that over here, you the most scary kase we. In your breaking news ki over here, every most scary kakakale. Chololo point. Chololo po scary to the moe. Yo the mo malari ku wifat mele aja stop. Every chololo po scary. Parce que breaking news there in the air. One way or the other, it will spread. And it start to spread. Et puis, mon hope, chololo va mozo. Parce que c'est chololo qui parle de medication. Le bagay just sorti. Yo bon kon medication. So je ça qui fait avec corona. Yo dit yo bon kon de Pfizer, de pou faire ça. Ça de pou faire ça. Et bien, il va aimer marcher. Yo dit mon chololo pour scary. Parce que any breaking news. And Siri listening, and Siri will expose. Siri will expose. So Siri pass up in direction pour qui medication pour yori mo ini chololo. Oui, yori mo ini chololo. Even last Siri te mon Daniel, ne bon la yeah. I got this Siri. I'm talking to you. Listen to me. You have chololo. Come and see Siri. I have the medication. Danny Luque is the man for reason of. Danny Luque is the man for us enough. But Danny Luque is a winner and he will die winning. And Danny Luque who can retire. Danny, come on. He will want to say you. They might not know you. While I'm speaking, they will be paying attention. Danny Luque Vinny. Who you working on. Ah ben voilà, Mr. Danny Luge. Danny Luge can retire. Give me the music for Danny Luge. And as a winner, what do you have to say as a winner? If they call you on the podium and say, you are a winner, and what do you have to say to your supporters? Tell it to them.
I will break the news in just a while.
which they accepted. They really accepted. Danny Luge, thank you. I would say the same thing. Okay, you also United Workers Party say, cha, only check. Say munda have voted Danny Luge. You have by your vote you need confiance on Danny Luge. Mami, Gilajou 94. But 95 years, Mami Akadio, you toujours volé Danny Luge. Bon, il te gagne. Parce que Danny Luge ni la foi. Parce que ça, il a fait à présent. Faut nous calculer ça, il a fait. Ça, you can faire à présent, 90-year-old, 70-year-old, you can calculate their brainwash. 5,000, 10,000. Il y a des jeunes gens qui parlent d'éducation avec éducation pas de fort, NEP, la base, you can mettre your nettoyer drain, the contract, et you can passer your brainwash you. Et bien, il y a un qui a un hôtel, il can passer comme si il dit, I'm the boss of the block. I am the boss of the block. Manibuki annoying. He call it Koi. I'm the boss on all blocks. I can pass him a pocket of money, 2,000, 5,000. Apa konet noin? Apa konet noin? Moi, moi, teke ami konet noin parce que mon kagade ki men ki noin. Danny Luge son nom qui tout bout. L'argent Danny Luge, il pas kagade pour go mansion. Danny Luge pas kagade pour $65,000 rent kai. Danny Luge pas kagade pour luxury. Danny Luge kagade pour future à pays. Les jeunes qui ka vini. Kai fait pour les mots dit que it's because of you can get sa legacy. Vous comprenez ça mon gars là? Et ça qu'a fait là présent, you can passer you can aller tout ghetto. Ba tout les ghetto you l'argent. Brainwash you. Buy $4,000. Puis on s'en met des posta à les scooter yo, à les bike yo. D'après you pay yo pour yo voyage. You pay yo pour yo c'est ça yo ka fait. Et bien yo là non, l'élection vini, yo ke wete la ka coûter. But Danny Luge ke. Danny Luge ke. Danny Luge ke. Habite pour nous garder l'élection ka fait Dominique. Et bien l'élection Dominique non, il ça ka fait ou côté bon Dieu et ou côté diable. Là où ka supporter United Workers Party, ou pas seulement goumer contre United Workers Party, ou ka goumer contre diable. Ou ka goumer contre moun qui fait evil pour être in power. Ou ka goumer contre moun qui servi l'argent pour supplier moun parce que yo fait faute. They make mistake. They know what they are doing, but they will use the power of money because they do not have any result. And they will use the power of money to brainwash, to buy you, for them to make millions, and you still stay in the poverty. And every 5 years, they will come back with the same money. Look $4,000, look $10,000, while they building hotel. While they building hotel, my people, you have to think Dominica is not on the right route. If you have to think now, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, what is the future of Dominica? Right now, in 2020, they spoke about the future. We in 2025, what you can record? What did they plan in 2024? What did they plan in 2026 for us to record now? They're still talking about future. What is the future? So they're going to talk about 2025 now. In the next 25 years, the future is the same result. We have to take them out. We have to fight. Granny, children, grandchildren, messieurs, gardez olalute, olaluye, even ulutabenye, Dr. Thmson Fontaine, if I send kids. If I send kids, the people of Dominica are moving to St. Kitts because of Thmson Fontaine. We have more resources in Dominica than St. Kitts. So we will make more than 10 kids. We will attract more than 10 kids. Our minimum wage will be higher than 10 kids. That is what you have to think about. The future of our children. Not $5,000, not $10,000. So Gota, Rosanov, please, I'm begging you on behalf of the P7 constituency, vote for Danny Lugwe. You will never regret. You will never regret the result, because of 25 years, we have no result. Give me something. Mercy. Look. It's all crazy.
Make some noise in the house. Let's hear it for Siri. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is getting hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. But we're moving on. We're moving on, ladies and gentlemen. We move into new areas of the country. Places that we have not done it. But this time around, ladies and gentlemen, nowhere is out of bounds. And so at this time, I would like you to welcome to the microphone the next, potentially next PAL rep, for you wouldn't believe it, the Pebush constituency. Let's put it together, ladies and gentlemen, for the man himself from the Pebush constituency.
Good night, GC. I didn't hear you. Good night, GC. You know that name got, I really don't like it, you know.
You like it?
I don't like it, man.
Like you like it?
GC! Okay. I bring you greetings from the Pebush constituency. And we are here tonight to bring big up Danny. Brother Danny Lugwe. There is no other way. Alright? With Danny Lugwe, there is no other way. So I want to tell you something tonight. I want you to know, when you are voting for a parliamentary representative, this is serious business. This is no joke. This is about your livelihood. And when you have people that just come in overnight, people you don't know, you have to think for yourselves. You have to consider, what are we doing? Brother Danny Lugwe has been on the ground ever since. Danny has never left you. We have been all around, in Fontaine, in God, in GC, in Tarish, all about. I've been meeting Brother Danny Lugwe. So I want to tell you tonight, people, to give Danny Lugwe your support. You will not regret it. You will not regret that day you make that little eggs for Danny. Because the United Workers' Party is coming back into office, you know. There is no two ways about it. We are coming back into office. And I can tell you, in the Pebush constituency, that is happening. That is happening also on the ground. If you go on the ground in Pebush constituency, you will hear the whispers. People are saying that they are fed up. They wouldn't come out openly and tell you that. But when you go in their homes and you sit down, they're telling you the pressure that they are under, and they are willing to make the change. Now I heard a very interesting speech from the ambassador Ian Douglas. Ian Douglas is my friend. But I don't know, this is one of the most ridiculous speeches I ever heard. People, Dr. Fontaine spoke about having a national health insurance for everybody in Dominica. Isn't that a good thing? Can you imagine you go by you fall ill, you just go by the doctor and you flash your card? The Honorable Ian Douglas is saying, Labour is taking care of us already. Everybody have to go up by the Prime Minister to get a handout for them to do whatever they have to do. This is the most ridiculous thing I have heard, you know. But I am not surprised. I am not surprised, boys, because these are the kind of people that have us like that. Right? Because I remember when they were giving the homes, he said, "Oh, you come for it, or you beg for it, or you lie down, or you kneel down, or you do all kind of thing for it." These are the people that have us like that. So I am urging each and every one of you people, each and every one of GC, to consider when all you go and give all you cross. Give the cross to the United Workers' Party and Danny Lugay. Do not deceive Danny Lugay. Because you see what is happening. Look at the cost of living. These guys are doing nothing to help us in the cost of living. Nothing at all. Things are just going sky high. And Dr. Fontaine will explain to you all why things are getting so high. He will explain. So people, give Danny Lugay the support. I won't be here too long because there are plenty more people to speak. Alright? So Pebush constituency is on board with Danny Lugay, and we will not relent until Danny Lugay win that seat. Okay? GC, I love you. Good night.
Whoa. Workers! Okay, we are still in the house. Brothers and sisters, we're getting better. We're getting nicer. We're going to the east, to the west coast. We're moving to the west coast. He's a man that has won, and he has won, and he has won, and he has never lost in the Salisbury constituency. Brothers and sisters, I am speaking here of the man, Brother Hector Sparks Joy. Let's put our hands together for Brother Hector Sparks Joy.
It's good to be in Gota village once again. I must say that Gota is somewhere that is dear to my heart. When I worked the BMC, I lived just liberally in the last house, so we used to pass the Ravine by Vigo, come by bread and everything. And every Friday, I think it's my Evelyn, used to be selling lime punch right just down the road. So, and my uncle Setilis is living right there as well. So, Gota, I bring you warm greetings from the people of Salisbury, Kodibistri, and Monaracha. But I am here to talk about Danny Lugay. Some time ago, they had a video out asking Danny Lugay questions about what he did for Roseau North. Danny Lugay was never in government. Danny Lugay never had the purse of the state to do anything in Roseau North. But Danny Lugay was in Parliament regularly, speaking for and on behalf of the people of Roseau North. Danny Lugay, I jotted down a few notes there about Danny Lugay, what he did in Parliament. A few. Danny Lugay spoke about the landfill at Lamas and the fume that was affecting the people in Roseau North, especially in Stock Farm. Danny Lugay spoke about sports, and I heard it in the area. And let me tell you, While in the area working in DBMC, I became a supporter of Zebians. Zebian Sports Club with Ronnie Gosta, Foxy, and all the others. They used to play football, they used to train down in Pottersville. So I became a fan of Zebian. And one time Zebian had a match and they say the entire community of Gota is empty, you know. Everybody was in Roseau supporting Zebian at the time. And that will show you that Zebians, the Gota community is united. The Gota community is together. And that is why they'll be voting Danny Luge come the next by-election. Danny Luge spoke about housing in the House of Parliament for the people of Gota, Stock Farm, Parish Pete, Yampis. Danny Luge was the one that brought up concerns about the Goodwill Secondary School. And for 9 years now, they have our students at Goodwill Secondary School as education refugees, moving from school to school, and up to now, they are not back at the school. Danny Luge spoke about the condition at the state prison. You heard Ian Jackson earlier on spoke about he being a teacher at the state prison, and there's one to big up Ian for that voluntary work you're doing at the state prison every Tuesday and Thursday. But the condition at the state prison. Danny Luge was in Parliament speaking about the condition in the state prison. Danny Luge spoke about, I just want to mention Lindo Park. Danny Luge was involved in getting funding for Lindo Park. And up to now, nothing. Danny Luge was the one that broke the segue. The bombshell when they sold public works to some local businessmen. Danny Luge spoke about it. And up to now, nobody can do anything there because of the intervention of Danny Luge. Danny Luge, man enough for Rosenhoff. Danny Luge was the one speaking about the fisher folks in Fokole and Pottersville. Danny Luge came to Parliament and spoke about them not being taken care of in the right way by the Labour government. What do you want Danny Luge to do again? Danny Luge spoke about the inadequate hospital that we have. But what happened to Danny Luge in Parliament? He was collared, he was jacked in Parliament for speaking for and standing on behalf of the people of Rosenhoff. Danny Luge spoke about the arcade for small business people, the business arcade. And he had been meant up yesterday, you know, I look at Danny Luge's manifesto that he printed recently. But Danny Luge have been advocating this thing since he came to Parliament in 2011 as a senator. So when we hear people like Ian Douglas and the others speaking about Danny Luge did nothing for Rosenhoff, he should tell us why Labour Party never took up the projects that Danny Luge recommended on the people of Rosenhoff. Danny Luge is a man of the people. Danny Luge represented these people in Parliament well. But Miss Blanchard was in Parliament for 4 years. She had the state purse behind her. She had everything going for her. Yet still, Labour Party did nothing in Rosenhoff. And this time, what they're doing? Going to house, not campaigning, you know, trying to buy voters. But the voters of Rosenhoff say no. They will be sending a clear message that they will be voting Danny Luque and the Unite Party. But people of Rosanov, people of Gotha, I want you to do one thing for Danny Luque. Go out there and confirm. Go out there and register to vote. We can speak, we can come there in big crowd, but your ex has to count at the end of the day. Those of you listening to us via Facebook and other platforms, go out there and get confirmed to vote. Make sure that your name is on the voters list. You cannot make a difference when your name is not on the list. If you need to confirm, if you want to find out where your polling station is, contact Danny Luque. He'll give you guidance. Because this time, we want the people of Rosanov to send a very loud message that the blue wave is beginning in Rosanov. The blue wave is going to take over Dominica. Vote the United Workers' Party. Vote the SOA. Vote Danny Luque. Danny Luque, man enough for Rosanov. Thank you and God bless.
Brothers and sisters, you heard Brother Spags Hector John, the man from Salisbury. Let's put our hands together for Hector John, brothers and sisters. Well done. Well done. Brothers and sisters, you heard it said, all you are hearing about is people have to beg, beg, and beg, and beg. Mr. DJ, you have a tune there for me. I want you to play that tune so the people can free up themselves. Bring down that tune, Mr. DJ. Okay, Mr. Technician, I think you have the tune for me now. Bring it down because we are begging. We finished with the begging. Tell the people for us. Let the people free up. Let the people free up. Let the people free up.
In a Babylon kingdom, go with no bread. For Satan company, they must snipe us. Satan company, they must snipe us. I go in a Babylon kingdom, go with no bread.
Alright.
In a Babylon kingdom,
We beg no bread. We are not going in a Babylon kingdom to beg no bread. We are not beggars. The days of begging all over. All over. Ladies and gentlemen. Brothers and sisters, at this point, we are continuing with the education. Just before I get to Mr. Danny Lugie, I'm going to call the President of the United Workers' Party, the man, Brother Sanford, to address you. Let's put our hands together for Claudius Sanford, President of the United Workers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good night to the people of Goto community. I want to say a special good night to Miss Bernard here on her 95th birthday. Just down the road there, my aunt used to live, Auntie Lillian. So I know Goto very, very well. Back in the days when I used to come here with Nelson and Cleve and the other part of the family. So I know Goto village very well. But tonight we have also with us Mr. Sabruch, and in a special way I want to recognize him as well tonight, and to tell the people of this community and the Roseau North that Mr. Sabruch has done a lot for the Roseau North. He is the one who commissioned the Goodwill Secondary School, which all of us, our students, our children can go there. And he is with the United Workers' Party tonight, so that tells you something about the people who support the United Workers' Party. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are here for the education, as the chairman says. From 2022 to somewhere last month, you all had a parliamentary representative for the Roseau North. The United Workers' Party did not challenge the election, so she got a free trip to be a PAL rep and to serve as a minister in government. And for 3 years, ladies and gentlemen, nothing happened in the Roseau North constituency. So much so that she thought it necessary to resign. Ladies and gentlemen, we put up our hands in Roseau North and we say, take it, do what all you can.
Yes,
and they failed.
And they don't do nothing.
So they failed, and we are back here tonight to tell you, reclaim your grounds. Roseau North is for UWP, and we are going back to take this back to the parliament, but we are taking it as the first step to forming the government. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
And the man enough to do that is Honorable Danny Lugie.
No other way.
More votes for Danny.
No other way.
He has been through the struggle. He has been arrested. They tried to throw him in jail. They did not succeed. They tried to campaign against him here with Joseph Isaac. He whipped him by 600 votes counting. They put in Miriam Blanchard. She couldn't get off the ground, so she had to step down. And we are back with Danny Lugie as a new team of the United Workers' Party under the leadership of Dr. Thmson Fontaine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is important for you to reflect on that, because here we have somebody else is contesting the seat who has not lived the circumstances that you have lived. As a matter of fact, they don't have the confidence and the courage to face you on their own. So I was told they have to have police security walking through the village. These are people who do not connect with you. They have not lived the circumstance that you have lived. You have just told the history of the village, that people were given their little lots, build their little house, and over time they moved that into a beautiful village. We see the government now is bent on putting poor people close up in apartments that they do not own. That is another step closer to what the slaves endured back on the plantation. where the masses would provide homes for them, provide some food for them, but they did not understand liberty and freedom. The people of this community, Gota community, understand what freedom is. When they came here and started their small settlement, their small community that has grown into a beautiful community that has produced outstanding men in sports and in other aspects of life. The United Workers' Party, Danny Lugay, Dr. Fontaine, we understand that. And that is why we are here tonight to tell you, the choice is very clear. Vote Danny Lugay, a man who understands the circumstances that you've been through, a man who is determined to make a better condition for you, with a team of people that has steered this struggle for the last 25 years. For the last 25 years, we have not run away from you. With all the oppression, all the police brutality, all the discrimination, all the victimization, we have stood by your side. We have never given up on you. While others serve in government and retired and run away, they could not stay in the same country they built. We have stayed here with you. We have stayed right by your side. And that is why, whenever the by-election is called, your task is very simple. Vote for Danny Lugay. Vote for the United Workers' Party. Vote for a new government under the leadership of Dr. Thmson Fontaine. And as Hector John said, that blue wave is going to sweep all over this country, starting in Roseau, going all the way south to Soufriere, all the way north to Portsmouth. We shall be victorious, ladies and gentlemen, because we are not just coming here to ask you for your vote. We are putting forward an alternative proposal to the development of this country. We are putting together and put forward the 10-pillar program that takes into consideration all the sectors of our economy and where we can build resources to produce goods and services that will create factories, that will create jobs, that will give you a better wage for your hour, that will ensure the taxes are lowered, that will ensure that you have better health care, that will ensure the education system is in tune with what is happening in the world, to ensure that you have lower electricity costs, to ensure that your sportsmen and the sportswomen have better playing facilities so they can create wealth by developing their talent. What we see now is a government that has lost its way. They are busy managing their corruption, busy managing their $64,000 a month mansion on your backs, busy building several homes in other villages, buying homes around the city, and ensuring that their corruption and their tracks are covered. They cannot manage the garbage on the side of the roads. They cannot manage the healthcare system, the hospital in trouble. They cannot manage the agriculture sector because they're too busy managing their own corruption. And you have the power in you, ladies and gentlemen, people of Roseau. That power lies in you. With just one stroke of a pen and an X, you can get rid of a government that has lost its way and usher in new government, new men and women that have your best interests at heart. And Danny Lugay is leading the way here in Roseau. Danny Lugay has stand by your side. He is not going anywhere. He has represented you in sports, and he has done a lot of representation on your behalf that was totally ignored and discriminated by the government. But that time has come to an end. And you're hearing what is unfolding in the news, and there will be more to come. God doesn't sleep, ladies and gentlemen. His eyes is on you and his people of Dominica. And we will do our best to rescue this country. We are putting together a team of men and women that are committed to the task and that will work hard on your behalf. It's going to be a hard work, but we are committed to do it. Our backs are strong. Our belts are solid leather. We will tighten it with every new step to ensure that the future of Dominica is in good hands. Development is what we need here. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure to be with you. I ask you, those of you who have not yet been registered to vote, especially the young people listening from at home and those of you who are here with us, if you have not yet registered to vote, you should do that. And in the meantime, don't waste time. Also get confirmed. Get confirmed, because after this by-election, there will soon be another election. As soon as October comes, them guys are going to pull the trigger. You don't want to be caught unprepared. So we still have some time between now and October. If you have not yet gone to confirm, go confirm so you can make your vote count in the next election. So tonight we say more votes for Danny. Danny, man enough for Rose enough, and Dr. Fontaine, the economist, will lead the way in recovering our country. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.
Thank you. Let's put our hands, brothers and sisters, together for the President of the United Workers' Party. Whoa. Brothers and sisters, we are continuing with the education. So at this point, you have heard it said, all the speakers have told you about the next parliamentary representative for the Rosenhof constituency. Brothers and sisters, he has prepared himself. He has done all that he has had to do. And so, at this point, brothers and sisters, just before, I am teasing, just before Brother Danny Luge, I have the pleasure of welcoming, and I ask you to welcome to the podium for a moment, the Deputy Leader of the United Workers' Party, the same Ronald Charles, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. DJ, thank you. I don't need this podium because the thing is getting serious. So I come in way up there. I must go so?
Yeah, we need
well, okay, I go in back.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. First and foremost, let me say a warm good evening to the next parliamentary representative for the Rosenhof. Put your hands together for the man enough, the man Danny Luge. He have all what it takes. He have experience. He know all the corners. He know what to do and when to do it. So put your hands together for your next padre. And he's going to deliver on his promise. Ladies and gentlemen, while I stand here this evening, I had the opportunity to review Mr. Ian Douglas' tape. I reviewed it. And if you would go back in time with me, Ian Douglas, I think you need to do an apology to the people of Dominica. Because you cannot tell me that if the thing take me, and my waist not good, and my chest not good, and my liver not good, I should not go to the Chinese hospital. I should go up to Roosevelt's carrot. He's a doctor, but I don't think he's able to cure me. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, these comments that are coming from persons from the Labour Party, it is to be taken very seriously. When a man say to you that if your child have a problem, you must not go to the hospital, you must go up to the ministry. It's looking like something not right. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, because of that, we have to be careful as to who govern our country. And therefore I had the privilege to be alongside the man himself, Dr. Thmson Fontaine, who have led me as a younger man and taught me a lot of stuff, including economics. But it is more important than that. He has laid the foundation for people like me and other younger persons within the communities throughout Dominica to get what they deserve after 26 years. And don't worry about what they say. If you listen to Kyrie, your head will go on one side. Because Mr. Clarence, I believe you need a checkup at the same hospital Ian was talking about. And therefore, I am not worried. You see how I look in a little bit? I ready for it. I ready for it. And you have to be ready for it. Because it's going to be a long run. And you have to pull your stomach inside. And you have to tell Scarlett and the Labour Party, after 26 years, if you cannot deliver, you better move out. So the people of Gota, the people of the Rosenhof constituency, we have to teach them a lesson. And the lesson is not a hard one now. All you have to do, if your child is 18 years and over, and he or she has not yet registered, you have to say, if you don't register, you're not getting food in that house. It's as simple as that. You have to step up your game. And then you have to hold their hands with their certificates and all what they have and say, we're going to register or we're going to confirm today. Or else, I call in Ronald Charles to eat all the food. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we have to do what we have to do. And because of this, Dominica need your help now. After 26 years, ask the bus drivers what are they going through. After 26 years, everything gone up, including gas. I just paid $200 to put in my tank tonight. And I was wondering what is going to happen to me because it didn't pass half tank. So if $200 can't take you to half tank, can you imagine the crisis we are in? And therefore they will try and fool you and deceive you and to do whatever they can to make you move away from the truth, from the man himself, Dr. Thmson Fontaine. And I heard the president on many occasions, he mentioned, this is not a man that just go in a classroom and start to do things and get PhD, you know. He had fig and dashing on his head. He had to do what it takes to be where. And you heard Dr. Crispin, I don't know if he's a doctor, but it seems the Labour Party have a lot of doctors. But Mr. Crispin Sorrento spoke of Dr. Fontaine. And he gave a prerequisite, he gave an introduction of a man who worked hard, who used to leave Grand 4 in the morning without no traffic, without no bus, and ensure he comes to the SMA and do what he had to do as a poor man's child. So when they're talking about Dr. Fontaine, and they want you to think that Dr. Fontaine just get a degree. It didn't work like that, or a PhD. He worked, I nearly said damn hard for his thing. So ladies and gentlemen, let us step up our game. Let us do what we have to do. And therefore, Dominica deserves better. We have some corporate, we have all kind of projects going on. Ask yourselves, within the communities that these projects are being done, are the lives of our people having improved? Our people doing better? Are we able to send our children to school? Are we able to go to jails and buy all the books that we need to buy? These are the questions, these are the crucial questions that you need to ask yourselves. And then after 26 years, you need to say, enough is enough. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I beg of you to do the right thing. Do not stay there and say, we're not ready, Rosanov strong workers, good, we are right. And on your name is not on the list. So when you come to vote, you say, Ronald Charles, and you are ready. We hold them today. And when you look at the list, no Bala, you would then be defeating the man himself, Danny Lugay, who is depending on you to make and to do the right choices. This time in Dominica is up we're going. We're going up high. And we're doing what it takes to make Dominica the better place, a better place to live, a better place to enjoy life, and to make Laza Shesh. Mr. DJ, thank you. And therefore, I want you to put a round of applause for the next Prime Minister of Dominica. Put yours and make some noise for the man himself, Dr. Thmson Fontaine. I stand by you, brother, and I have attention. God love you, we love you, and we're going to make it happen. I nearly say triple.
Mr. Ronald Charles, the deputy leader of the United Workers' Party, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, there's a man that's got some fire. I don't know what he had tonight, but he has fire. Brothers and sisters, we're coming down to leadership time. We're coming down to leadership time. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, this is what's going to happen. My next speaker is a man of the Roseau North constituency. I think he has lived in every hamlet of the Roseau North constituency. He's ably qualified to speak to the needs of the Roseau North constituency. So he has consented to spend a few minutes before he does what I know he is quite capable of doing, which is to introduce the next pirate of this Roseau North constituency. I am speaking about Brother Soso. I am speaking, ladies and gentlemen, about the man from the Roseau North constituency, Brother Soso. Let's make some noise. Good evening to my people. Good evening to the people of Roseau North. I call my people the #1 people in Dominica. We have more, we will place them, but Roseau North, we are #1. Anytime there is a come down and there's a counting of Dominica, they tell you the tongue Roseau, and we're on the north of the town. We're on the northern side of the Roseau River, and we're going as far as Kinfield. I can tell you, my people, I am proud of you. I am proud to be a part of you. And I must say, God bless Roseau North. Because if we listen to the things that are happening around the world and the crisis that people living in around the world, and in Roseau North, we're surviving. And we're surviving so much that in 27 years, we've been holding our end.
without any help, without any support politically. Only when there is an election, you hear them come and they say they come to bring the goodies along. But my people of Rosenhof, I am proud of you. I will tell you why I am proud of you. It doesn't matter what they come with. You have been demonstrating to them that you know what you want, and you have been selecting what you want. Politically, they can say they buy there and they buy there and they buy there. They buy this one and they buy that one. In Rosenhof, we have some stalwarts that they cannot buy. Doesn't matter what you hear them say. You have to go back to the roots. And even if the people come from outside of Roseau, they come and live in Rosenhof. When they reach in Rosenhof, they become stronger. We hear our people talking about they buy. I don't want to say too much, you know, because if I have to say, it's plenty. But they say they buy Totos. Because they had given him a gold mine, they say. But nobody buy me. My parents taught me to work hard, to earn what I have. And when I have what I have, it belongs to me. I can share it with all who I want without asking anybody. And in Rosenhof, I have demonstrated that. I came from Pottersville. I moved to Fokole. Don't talk about Yampis. All Rosenhof, that little Kawat there, Dweeve. And I mingle with my people. The fishermen of Rosenhof go around Dominica. They have to select us. And we're number 1. You want Balau? Go down there. You talk Kole, we know it. Don't talk about, we're doing it. The big fish, go for Kole. Go for, we into it. We work in the farms. Our people here, it's like our contribution to our country. We all deliver in it. Gracefully. And they cannot fool us. I want to tell my people, be strong. Hold strong. Your time is coming. Because God is the one that delivers in. And if you look around and you see what is happening, something is happening. They're not singing that song anymore. That is the song for them to sing, you know. Because tonight I hear one of them is behind the bars they had put down in Lugi. Alright? The bars they had put down in Lugi. Our pal rep that did not do anything wrong to be locked up. They have one of them behind the bars. And that is international business. So I just want to tell my people tonight, don't give up. Whatever they come with is yours. They have been stealing from us. They have been treating us bad. They have been doing all kinds of things to us over the past. And then they come back with our money from our purse. And they want to give us the crumbs. Tell them we have people here that can build hotels. We have people here that can build supermarkets. We have people here that can build industries, that can promote labor for our people, to employ our people, to earn their own money. But they're not bringing anything for us. They prefer to come and tell us now that they're ready for us to vote for Kawe daughter. But I want all you to know, I and Kawe was in Guadeloupe together. And we are Jean Lotbo, Jean Goodwill. And when we had our time, we used to sit down and consult about the difference in our people in Dominica and the difference in the people in Guadeloupe. And in Guadeloupe is where Kawe was getting his health rescue. United Workers' Party, 27 years ago, said that they were going to put a national health insurance that would be able to take anybody. You didn't have to go to Prime Minister. UWP wasn't operating that way. You will go to the institution
that is there to assist people in need. And they would send your family wherever to get medical care. Today, they want you to go to the Prime Minister, and if he wants, he will help you. As far as all you know, just recently I lost my brother, but I didn't go to Prime Minister. If he check his records, he must tell you, them vultures never come there. Because we don't go to Prime Minister. Okay? But the rest of my people, I am telling you, I'm not backing off from you. I want to stay with you until God tell me that He's ready to take me. So even if I go, I want to come back. And I want to come back and I want to be welcome among my people. My pal rep, Danny Luge, over the years, we all know what he suffered for our sake. Because Danny could stay at his home and say, you see that politics business? I'm not in that. And as all of you know, Danny wouldn't come and beg for bread by nobody. Because Danny's father and his mother was people that taught people to earn their own money. I am telling you, when we vote Danny Luge, we vote a man that will assist us and assist our people. Our children is most important because right now we are phasing out. And as we're phasing out, our replacement is the children that we work for. And we would like our children to be independent, not only in Dominica, but in the world. We are first, third, second, last outside there when we can do better. See the projects they have in our surroundings. And our people, none of them can buy a motor car or say they buy in a fridge or the same things that used to happen when we had bananas operating in Dominica. So I want all the people to stand up. I am there with you. No matter what you hear, they cannot buy me. All you hear about Lennox Linton, the guy from Marigot that come to put to Rosenhoff and become one of the best journalists in the region. He is still there. And all our money that they owe to us, somebody have to ask them the question. So we don't want to give up on none of our people. We want to make sure that we remain strong. So that's why tonight, I want to call on Rosenhoff, and we will rescue the daughter of Kawe. I don't call her a name. The daughter of Kawe. Because we did that to Julius Timothy when Julius Timothy had get himself involved with them. And if we did not vote him out, he would be dead before the time. But praise God, we did what we had to do. And Danny Luge was the man. Today, I want to tell you, I want to introduce to you our pal rep. The pal rep that since he called me, I will move. And when I say let's go, it's to help somebody in our community. It's not like a person that does tell you I'm coming to get something from you. And with open arms, our people that still say, Mr. Luge, look. He said, yeah. Mr. Luge, hold that. Because why? He's a good man. So tonight, I want to introduce to you the man we're going to vote whenever the election comes. And thank God he put his boots back. Because he's a man that say he had hung his boots up, just like me. But when we have to do things for our people, we do stand up. I present to you my pal rep, Mr. Danny Luge, tonight. Yes, Danny Luge.
For your mercy never fails me all my days.
Thank you. That's my last brother, Tony Luge, fresh from New York. And my second brother, 1 year older than me, Peter Luge. For years, they have been supporting me. Whenever they hear it's campaign time, they put their monies together, put their banners together, put children's stuff together. 1 year, I couldn't even find children to put their stuff. I love you. Thank you, my brothers. God bless you.
What you see there is not no act, you know. We've been doing that from the time we were children, and anybody that grew up in Goodwill will know that we grew up in the church, and that's all we did. Sing together as a family, praise God together as a family.
Thank you, Peter. I begin by expressing condolences to the family of Sally, who was a passionate supporter and relentless vocal advocate for the United Workers' Party for many years. We remember Sally was buried today. Using his passenger bus as his local radio station. We also pay big respect and heartfelt sympathy to the family of Curtis Gordon, an internationally renowned leather craftsman. To both their families and loved ones, we say deep sympathy. The community has lost some stalwarts, but we are resilient and we keep standing. Let's give the families our support because they need us now. Gota Village, how are you doing? This is Blue City. We know that there will be a blue tsunami on polling day. Workers! Wake up, workers! Gota Village and Rosanov has never been bought by big money. Rosanov has always been politically savvy. We will eat them out, we will drink them out, and we'll vote them out. For 2 decades and more, the briber-in-chief has tried to buy out the people of Gota Village and Rosanov. And the red envelopes have gotten fatter this season as desperation have them going mad. But we're just waiting for polling day to take care of our children's business. Do you accept in Rosanov that your value is $2,000 in a red envelope? Can Skerrit buy you with your own money? Jamais. Never. It can never happen. They cannot buy us. In Gota Village, they hand out huge checks and fat red envelopes, but mainly to laborites. They give out Christmas hams and turkeys to only their party faithfuls. Then come the eve of the by-election, they're begging us for our vote. Too late shall be the cry. Too late. In Rosanov, we are fiercely independent. We love to work to earn our own money. Look around you in Gota Village, Yampis and Tarish Pit. You build your own homes, block by block and floor by floor. You work long hours on the pot to maintain your family. This is Gota Village. This is the Gota Village that I know. From wooden shacks to 2- and 3-story buildings made with your own hands. By the sweat of our brow, we eat bread. This is how God intended it to be. That's what the good book says. Almighty Father blesses hard work. God never blesses laziness. But now, every household is feeling the pain of a collapsed economy. All business houses are paying out 55 cents on every dollar earned in taxes to the government. Let me break it down for you. 45 cents paid in income tax on every dollar. 15% VAT. And indirect taxes of city council charges, environmental levy, and DOWASCO water access charge.
That is what businesses pay to government. 55 cents on every dollar. How can a government take so much from our hard-working business people? They have crippled many companies with such high taxes. From humble beginnings, our children has no reason to be the doctors, nurses, policemen, civil servants, and business icons in our community. Ask Jesse Bernard, Eva, Keno Sons and his wife. This is Gota Village of proud people who love and they love togetherness. This is Rosenoff. You cannot buy us. Look at Rosenoff with the most schools in Dominica per square mile. Rosenoff has the most business houses per square mile. Rosenoff has the most churches per square mile. And Rosenoff has the largest population center in Dominica. And we are not for sale. We are ambitious. We are a hard-working people. You cannot buy us. Don't you understand the psyche and the independence of the people of Rosenoff? We are the civil servants, policemen, nurses, small business owners who really run things in this country. We are the intellectuals and thinkers of Dominica. Rosenoff is the heart and soul of Dominica. Our Deepwater Harbor has been kept running for decades by stevedores, longshoremen, and pot workers of Rosenoff. Ask the Dover family and the Bernard family also. We don't beg, we don't bend, and we don't bow. We are not for sale. We are Rosenoff. More votes for Danny! But Rosenoff will eat you out, drink you out, and vote you out for trying to buy us with our own money. Do you remember after Hurricane Maria, when as Member of Parliament for Rosenoff, I filled out more than 500 hurricane relief funds for assistance. And Skerrit and his ministers tore them up and throw the funds in the waste paper basket. So come this by-election, we get to take our revenge. We're voting them out. We're voting them out for disrespecting the people of Rosenoff after a major disaster of Hurricane Maria. Any government that gives to one set of people after a disaster and reject others because we blue, God Almighty will punish them. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. In Fokole on the ground last week, never been. So in the Lugas grocery shop, we sold half-pound sugar and half-pound rice. But then everything sold in our shop, even if there were about 7 other shops in the immediate area. Those of us who are older, like Gollywalks right there, do you remember Maroya shop? Do you remember Chatter shop? Do you remember Deshose shop? The Shillingford shop? Mr. Ham shop? Hiram William shop? And the Lugan shop? All in a small area, and every single one making money. But today, Skerrit has taken Dominica 55 years backwards into a half-pound sugar economy. Rosenoff economy is collapsing under Skerrit. Go to our Stephans, S-Mart Fresh Market, where there were 5 and 6 cashiers working. You now only see 1 or 2 cashiers. People don't have money in their pockets in this half-pound economy. But we, the people of Gota Village and Rosenoff, will take Skerrit out of his political misery. We will eat them out, we will drink them out, and we will vote them out. More votes for Danny! But we're looking beyond Skerrit and his failure of the people of Rosenoff, and have developed an economic plan and brand new vision for Rosenoff. And I will share one pillar of the Rosenoff plan. which will fit into the 10-pillar plan, which you will hear about from our political leader, Dr. Fontaine. We want back our public works land that you have sold away into private hands. This piece of prime property at the old public works site, we will reclaim that land for the people of Rosenhof. 4 years ago, I wrote to Prime Minister Skerrit, expressing concern then that the public works property was being secretly put up for sale. And so I wrote to Skerrit objecting to the sale of that property. And so on Monday of this week, I went to the physical planning division where I had written 4 years ago objecting to the sale of the public works site. Chief Physical Planner Eli began stammering when he saw me. He said to me that he does not know who the land was sold to. Imagine that. The file is just downstairs Mr. Eli's office, and he's telling me he doesn't know who bought the land. I want to know who Mr. Eli is protecting to try to cover up information that is supposed to be public information by law. But we, the people of Gota Village and the people of Rosenhof, want back our land at Public Works. We want back the people's land for public development and public business. So we will reclaim the Public Works property to put a tourist reception center and a brand new vendors arcade, and we will build a 4-story mall for local businesses only. Dominica for Dominicans first, as we welcome others to our shores. On the bottom floor of the tourist reception center will be the permanent home of the Bayfront vendors. For an entire quarter century, and his lazy ministers keep promising our hard-working vendors a new vendors arcade. Team Dominica will build a spanking new vendors arcade. On the second and third floor, we will be reserved for local businesses only. Hairdressers, beauticians, massage parlors, craftsmen and women, artisans, artists and painters, restaurant owners, chefs, musicians like Shelley and the Signal Band, who was born and raised right here in Rosenhof. Team Dominica will create the opportunity and provide the space and the funding to start you off to ensure that you succeed. That's what young Dominicans want. To earn their own money, build their own homes, and give their children the opportunity to be successful. Dominica for Dominicans first. And yes, we welcome visitors. On the top floor of the Tourist Reception Center will be a conference center with top-of-the-line facilities. Cruise ship passengers will walk across straight to the Tourist Reception Center and do their tours from that side. Tourists can shop and dine at the premier seafood restaurant at that center. Every day of the week, patrons will be guaranteed to eat the catch of the day, fresh from the fishermen of Fokole, Pottersville, and Gota Village. On Wednesday nights and Friday nights, visitors, tourists, and local Dominicans will converge at the Tourist Reception Center for first-class local music, all seafood dining, and premier entertainment for the family. Relaxing atmosphere with love and togetherness. This is my vision for the people of Rosenhof. Tonight, I release my plan and vision for Rosenhof on our Rosenhof manifesto. I know the counterfeiters are waiting to steal our plans and ideas, but we are original and authentic. And if they could not do it after 27 years in office, they cannot do it at all. More votes for Danny! So on my manifesto, you can see all the plans and the projects to stimulate jobs for our people of Gota Village, Yampish, Starish, Pitt, and Rosenhof. This malaise and cancer of never-ending dependency must end now. Young people want to earn their own money. We are not beggars. God has a plan for every single person listening to my voice. But bad government has been stifling the people of Gota Village. But Team Dominica and the United Workers' Party has the vision for a vibrant economy. We will create the opportunities for you, the hard-working people of Gota Village, to make Gota Village the best place to live, the best place to work, and the best place to enjoy life. Dominica is a paradise, but for 27 years, we have had management that brought us back to a half-pound sugar economy. Team Dominica will turn things around. As I end, let me encourage you to go to the Red Cross Center to confirm, and to the first-time voters to register. I know there is great discouragement among our young people, but please encourage one another to confirm and register from tomorrow and in the coming weeks. This is how we neutralize the beast that has taken away the future of our children. More votes for Danny! God bless Gota Village. God bless Rosonoff. God bless the Commonwealth of Dominica. I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise for the next parliamentary representative for the Rosonoff constituency, Brother Danny Luque. The man with a plan for Rosonoff. A big plan, a big plan. Brothers and sisters, I am so very happy to see you all standing around waiting for the speaker of the night, our next Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Ladies and gentlemen, he has been trained, completely and fully educated. That's why he is called Doctor. Doctor, he didn't buy that doctorate. He earned it. And after having qualified for it, he went out into the world and he showed what a young man from Dominica, this little country, can do. And he has helped economies all over the world, in big countries, in small countries, and in countries the size of Dominica. Brothers and sisters, everywhere he has worked, he has been remembered for having turned around a bad economy in whichever of the country that he worked in. And where best can he do it? Right here in Dominica. For the first time, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a doctor, a real doctor who understands economics and the economy of countries. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure and with confidence I ask you to welcome in a big way the next Prime Minister of Dominica, Brother Dr. Thmson Fontaine.
Jagota, workers with me, Ezola. Makatanzo, Ezola. More like it. Good night, good night. What an honor it is to be here in Gota Village and in support of Danny Luge, your next parliamentary representative. Ladies and gentlemen, here, there, and everywhere, good night to you. Tonight, we are going to be telling you some of the plans of the United Workers' Party. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to remind you why it is you should vote the United Workers' Party, and especially here in the Roseau North constituency, why it is that you should vote Danny Luge as your parliamentary representative.
I want you to be the leader.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a country in crisis. I have never seen another country where a prime minister mocks the people of his country. You remember, ladies and gentlemen, when the prime minister said, he told the people of Dominica, you all have no insurance. And he went on to mock them. But me and my family can be flown out because we have our insurance. You remember that? You remember when that same prime minister, whose efforts cost us access to the United States, we were no longer able to get visas to go to the United States. Si vous tombez malade, ou passez aller la musique. Your children cannot go to study. For the first time in over 100 years, Dominican students cannot go to the United States for study. And this same prime minister mocked you when he said, I got my visa last week. 1 week after, the United States imposed visa restrictions on us. This same prime minister, ladies and gentlemen, would tell us that he is in charge. And he turns to the people, and not only is he mocking the people, he begins to mock God. And he tells the people of Dominica, why do you even pray to God? Come to me. Why waste the time and pray? Come to me and I will give you what you need. This is the man that has destroyed this country. Because when we look around Dominica, we see poverty. When we look around Dominica, we see a people who are struggling to make ends meet. The people of Dominica are under severe pressure. The people of Dominica are under severe strain, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you a little story. As I walked a couple of days ago, I was in the village of Rivière Sirik. You heard Bernie Ryan earlier speak. Bernie has been with my support. They have been taking dash-in from the farmers of the Southeast, in fact, all over. And I met this gentleman who says, you know, he's been looking to talk to me. He does not have a phone. He's been looking to talk to me. And he gave me a very sad story. He said, you know, Dr. Fontaine, the money that I made from the dash-in, you know, I've lost it. I asked him how much. He says, I'm not sure how much, because every time you guys gave me the money, I was putting it into a little plastic that I had, keeping it in my room in a little plastic, and each time I would put it. And he told me how long he had done that. So to the people of Rivière, if you find 1,000, it
So please give it to him. But that story reminded me in school. And the suffering of the Dominican public reminds me of this nursery rhyme. And I'm sure you remember your nursery rhymes. The Itsy